2, 1. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Appreciate you folks that are tuning in on some of these more. Some of the lives have been a little bit later in the evening because we had the 1 o'clock time slot, but family obligations, work obligations has kind of screwed my time schedule up, and I'm trying to get that corrected as soon as possible. So that is what's going on in terms of the time slots moving all over the damn place. But I want to talk to you folks about something. Now, you see the live stream is titled Trump Strikes Back. Trump has been very busy on social media as of late, and I want to get the opinion from you folks. But in addition to him being busy on social media, he's also did an about face on one of the most pressing topics for this election cycle. But we'll talk about that shortly. Let's talk about the amount of material that has come from President Trump within the last 24 to 48 hours. I want to get your opinion on this. You guys know how the program is ran. As you see behind me, we are MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. You don't have to agree with the host. You don't have to agree with a damn person in the comment section at all. That's how free speech works. But I want to show you a few things. This one here, I'm going to see if I can put it on the screen, and hopefully you guys can get a decent view of it. This came from, you're not going to be able to see this shit. It's pretty small on your on this monitor there, but it's a picture. I'll see if I can zoom in parts of it. Picture of Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. Now, I know on YouTube, my camera for YouTube is even poorer, so you can see it on TikTok, but anyhow, that is Hillary Clinton whited out on YouTube. Wow, that's a bad picture on YouTube, but Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris side by side. Now, President Trump, actually, because you see at the top it says, at real Donald Trump there, came from his social media account. This is a picture of Clinton and Trump, and it has the caption below, funny how blowjobs impacted their career. Wow. So I want to find out from you folks right off the bat, is this fair, all fair game in politics? Or is it somewhat crossing the line? Funny how blowjobs impacted their career. Now, obviously, referring to Monica Lewinsky, and I suppose her time with Willie Brown, assuming, this is a blatant assumption that Kamala Harris gave anybody oral sex. He obviously has no evidence at all that she has ever partaken in oral sex, but he's certainly saying it. So what I want to ask right off the bat, all fair in love in politics, you think this is fair game to bring up the sex life of a political candidate, or do you believe he has crossed the line? And yeah, that is indeed a picture of a younger Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. He sent that out of his own social media account. President Trump, president sending that out of his account. Let me know in the comments. But this isn't why we even got on the damn live. This is just where it's going to start at. President Trump has certainly been very, very busy over the last 24 hours. We're going to go to the next one. I'll be asking you folks when you come up in terms of callers, how you feel about some of this stuff. But that's just the first one. Now, remember the whole chant of lock her up, and President Trump clearing that up once he started himself facing his own charges, suggesting that he never called for the incarceration of Hillary Clinton, and maybe the audience was doing it, maybe it was just being done in rallies, but he never personally meant it. Well, he got back on the internet again. He took to the internet again. Here is yet another image, once again, all within the last 24 to 48 hours, coming from Trump's Truth Social Network. This is, you probably can read it on TikTok. Maybe it's backwards on YouTube. I don't know how to fix it, but It features 6 individuals in orange jumpsuits with prison bars behind them. And it's titled How to Actually Fix the System. Fix the system is in quotes. We'll go ahead and discuss who the people are. To the far left there is President Joe Biden, followed by his son in the middle there, Hunter Biden. With her arms folded, that would be Nancy Pelosi. And then below, once again, Hillary Clinton, the one he never called to be locked up. That is Hillary Clinton. And next to her is Dr. Anthony Fauci. It looks like Bill Gates. Bill Gates is sitting there. And then, of course, Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, what is Kamala Harris? Listen, I've been following MAGA. I always enjoy talking to MAGA. I've been following MAGA since MAGA came on and said, what has Kamala Harris did that MAGA believes she should be incarcerated for? This is the first time I've heard MAGA suggesting that Kamala Harris should now go to jail. The rest of them I've heard constantly. I've heard, obviously, Hillary Clinton, Dr. Fauci, Bill Gates, Nancy Pelosi, and Hunter Biden, and to some degree, Joe Biden as well. But I've never heard someone suggest why Kamala Harris should be incarcerated. So that is a new one. Kamala Harris, wow. So what I want to ask you folks, once again, this is President Trump, former President Trump, tweeting this stuff out. I guess the first question we want to know is, do you believe that if he is reelected, he's going to lock up some of his opponents? He swore up and down a few months ago, I believe it was, that he never called for Hillary Clinton to be locked up. Now, there's clearly a heap of footage to the contrary, but he did swear that he didn't call for Hillary Clinton to be incarcerated. Well, now he's back at it again, sending out photos of Hillary Clinton in prison. So I do want to ask you folks, but this is, once again, this still is not the main topic. These tweets are not the main topic. The main topic is former President Trump coming out of the state of Florida. This is President Trump in Florida over the last 24 hours. This is probably the strongest case of maybe, remember, you got Kamala Harris suddenly suggesting that she is not for the banning of fracking. And a lot of folks don't believe Kamala Harris saying that. A lot of folks do not believe Kamala Harris when she says she's not for the banning of fracking, because there is video of her saying early, there is video footage of her months ago, years ago, saying she was indeed for banning fracking. But now she's speaking otherwise. Well, President Trump is also involved in a similar sort of changing of positions. And we'll give you a clip of this, if I can get my idol, because I want to ask you first, when you hear this, do you think that Trump maybe has had an epiphany? Maybe he has changed his mind.
The state that you are a resident of, there's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
Well, I think the 6-week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I'm voting that, I'm going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand, everybody wanted Roe v. Wade terminated for years, 52 years. I got it done. They wanted to go back to the states. Exceptions are very important for me, for Ronald Reagan, for others that have navigated this very, very interesting and difficult path. Our country's been torn apart by Roe v. Wade for years. And if you go back 10 years, 15 years, all they wanted to do is they wanted it back in the states. They didn't want it to be in the federal government. I was able to do that. I believe in exceptions for life of the mother. If you look, incest, rape.
Thanks for watching. Now, that's Lester Hope clearly. But you heard what he just stated. He believes a 6-week ban is too short. He suggested that the 24 weeks now is where he favors things. Now, that's not the President Trump Obviously, that's not the President Trump that we've heard before. He is now favoring giving a woman up to 24 weeks as opposed to banning her right to choose. Just in case, I'm only going to play a little bit just to make sure we heard that right.
Ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. There's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
Well, I think the 6 week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I'm voting that I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand.
That amendment is 24 weeks, by the way. Well, that's what's so in there. Now, that probably coincides with this earlier statement from President Trump.
Law be on abortion?
Well, I have been pro-life.
I know. What should the law? I know your principle. That's a good value, but what should be the law?
This presidential election is going to be very important because when you say what's the law, nobody knows what the law is going to be. It depends on who gets elected because somebody's going to appoint conservative judges and somebody's going to appoint liberal judges depending on who wins.
I've never understood the pro-life position.
Well,
I never understood it because I understand the principle. It's human life as people see it. But what crime is it?
Well, it's human life.
No, should the woman be punished for having an abortion?
Look, I would say that it's a very serious problem, and it's a problem that we have to decide on. It's very hard.
But you're forbidding it.
Say, well, wait, are you going to say put them in jail? Is that
well,
the
no, I'm asking you because you say you want to ban it. What's that mean?
I am pro-life, yes.
What is ban? How do you ban abortion? How do you actually do it?
Well, you'll go back to a position like they had where people will perhaps go to illegal places.
Yeah.
But you have to ban it.
Do you believe believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no? As a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
So he went from using word. Now you hear him use specifically the word ban. Literally came out. He used the word ban. He didn't say nothing about 6 weeks being too short. He used the word ban and even suggested that you need to be punished for doing so. And now he's up to supporting 24 weeks. Up to 20. So that's a big, big change. So I want to ask you folks right off the bat, do you believe he has had some sort of epiphany? Do you believe his change is authentic? Very similar to Kamala Harris suggesting that she was not for banning fracking, and all of a sudden she seems to be, she was for banning fracking. She's on video saying she wanted to ban fracking, and now she's on video saying not. Do you believe that President Trump, this huge change from not only banning a woman's right to choose, making it clear he's pro-life, to the point where he wanted a woman punished for any sort of taking the life of the unborn, up to now voting in favor of a 24-week window? That's 4 months. No, is that, wait, 24 months? No, that could be 6. Damn, really? 6 months? I believe, if I'm correct, right now there's a 6-week ban in Florida. So you get up to, I think it's up to 6 weeks. He wants to knock that up. He's going to vote in favor of knocking that up to 24. 24 weeks is my math right? That's not 6 months, is it? Wow. 24 weeks. And he's voting in favor of that happening. So that is a huge, huge change for 6 months. That's viable in some cases. In some cases, that is there are humans walking around now that are full-grown adults that'll tell you, I came out in 6 months. And he is supporting that? Wow. So do you believe his change is authentic? Because he went from banning and talking about punishment to now being willing to support 6 weeks. And I definitely want to hear from MAGA on this as well, because Florida is nowhere near Fifth Avenue, but this is pretty close in regards to he could do something in the middle of Fifth Avenue and his supporters would go nowhere. He went from saving the life of the unborn to well into the second trimester, almost a late term almost accepting late term. So this is interesting. So we're gonna continue on. Let me see here real quick on TikTok. Just plays so many damn games. By the way, folks, tap the screen, get the likes up to about 15,000. I just don't understand. TikTok has been so problematic lately. We can go to the box. He supports whatever the polls say he is supposed to support to win. You really believe that? You said he supports whatever he's supposed to say. Wait, you said he supports, this is Patricia. He supports whatever the polls say he is supposed to support to win. You think Trump is being played like that? That's kind of, wow. All right, let me go to the box. Juan, and that's all I can pronounce. Okay. Good afternoon, Juan. Welcome to the program.
Tim, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. So go ahead.
I love your show, man, because I can call and talk however the fuck I need to talk. Listen, man. This is we spoke before. I'm an old retired soldier, been out 21 years. Listen, this guy, the box is right. He will say whatever the fuck he needs to say. That's not the issue for me. It's that there are ignorant son of a bitches out there that are more ignorant than he is, that believe him. It's incredible. I mean, look at what we're watching, man. I mean, look at what we're watching. If he was our drunken uncle at the picnic, somebody would be calling for him to be put in a damn asylum somewhere.
But I mean, you say people believe him, but make no mistake about it, MAGA, Trump supporters are certainly pro-life, and he is making because 6 months, most women that do terminate their unborn child don't wait 6 months. So he essentially would be legalizing this would be Roe v. Wade all over again in Florida that he is favoring. I mean, he really made a huge change. So
what was his point about bragging about getting rid of it? What was his point then? That's what I'm saying. He can say whatever the hell he needs to say, but look at the people who are walking around, driving around him with driver's license, making critical decisions at a damn stop sign that are listening to this son of a bitch. I mean, think about it for a minute. What the hell? I just don't. I just, for the life of me, I'm trying to understand it. And it used to be so easy to say, you know what? 20% of the Republican Party is just a bunch of racist bastards, and they're following the great white dope wherever the hell he goes. But I don't even know if that's it, man. I don't even know what it is anymore.
Well, you don't see Trump supporters or MAGA. You don't see them as racist. I mean, I'm hearing you throwing around racist. Where are you getting that from?
I would tell you, it's too easy to call them racist. It really is. They are afraid. It's just like when you hear things, they're taking your jobs. What job have you ever applied for, Tim, where you walked in and said, this is my damn job, I'm here for it? But there has been for years that, listen, some of my white brothers and sisters believe that it is their job. Some of them believe that. And now that they have to compete for those jobs, they don't want to compete. They just want to win. They don't want to compete. They want to win. And now that they have to compete, oh, shit, the system is not fair. That's why you hear these ignorant bastards talk about affirmative action and DI and all that. All that is fear. They are afraid. Right?
So you're basically saying, appreciate that, Mr. Ray. Yeah, thank you for the hat and mustache. You're basically saying folks are they're seeking some kind of privilege. You know, folks talk about white privilege and all of this shit of the past. You're saying they're trying to get that back or something?
Of course. They didn't realize it, but they were the DI candidates.
Wow.
They were the ones. Think about it. I asked a question about a week ago to a young fella who was on here ranting and raving about it, and I said, listen, let me ask you a question. I said, you got two candidates that are equally qualified. One is black, one is white. They're equally qualified. Who do you hire? He went to him and Han and turned into a damn pretzel. I said, stop, young fella, stop. Just answer the question. He couldn't answer it. You know why? I said, let me show you how easy this is, young fella. I said, ask me. I said, I'd hire the black guy. You know why I hired the black guy? He said, "Oh, you're a racist." I said, "No, I'm human." I said, "It's the same thing. It's a real simple experiment. Go to a cafeteria at a middle school, at a high school. You hear the question, why are all the black kids sitting together? Why are all the Hispanic kids sitting together? Because, you son of a bitch, they have something in common with each other. It's the same way when I was in the military. I walked into a room. If I saw a bunch of Army guys, I gravitated to them. If I saw Air Force guys, not so much. Navy guys, not so much. Marines, not so much. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's human. It's human that we do this. Now, the problem is that ask yourself why we needed these programs. It's because your great-great-granddaddy only hired white guys, and they did what was normal to them. They were comfortable with white men, so they hired them. Now the system says, listen, you simple asses, that doesn't work anymore. We need to make, just like now, you go to the hood and you get these young brothers and sisters out of the hood, but the military got it right. You get these young brothers and sisters out of the hood, but you tell them that there's a ceiling. You'll never get to the upper ranks because you don't look like the population.
But do you in 2024, is that really still, because you're military, obviously I'm ignorant. I don't have a military background, so I'm not going to speak on something I don't know, but I'm forming it more of a question. In 2024, is that level of racism still in the U.S. military?
That's why they had to write amendments. And everybody is supposed to respect and follow the amendments. And the amendments are what give all those marginalized groups rights.
Yeah.
So how do you discriminate against people that the amendments protect?
Who am I hearing on? Is somebody on the line with you?
Make you stop.
I don't know who that is, Tim.
The people you discriminate against, they are poor and they cannot afford to take you to court. And court is the only way we can have laws change.
What the fuck? Okay, who is that?
I don't know, man. It's my phone. I'm 60. I don't know.
God damn.
Yes,
You guys, I thought the Sister Soldier was coming up out of you.
Listen, the military has goals. They don't have quotas.
Okay.
And so what they do is they want the population to look like the rest of society and also in the military. So yes, they do. If they don't meet their goals, they go back and look at it again. But never once do they promote somebody who is unqualified. They promote people who are qualified. They either meet it or they don't. And that's the way society needs to be. Come on, look at all the inventions that black people have done. You mean to tell me now all of a sudden we just turned into a bunch of damn turnips? You can't even get out of your house without an invention of the doorknob that a black man invented.
Mm.
How about teens? How about just name? There's so many. But you want me as a young black man to believe that black people just not qualified?
Well, I got Unknown Adventurer on YouTube said there is no racism. That's a Democrat talking point. A lot of folks say what you're saying is not happening. Is fabricated. Is made up. Now, folks have always said that, but a lot of folks still say that.
Let me tell you something. At about 17 years in the military, I went to a school that was specifically responsible for gathering these numbers. We had to report up how many blacks we had, how many females, how many were at the upper level. Tell me what they're gathering that information for, if not to make sure that things were fair and equitable across the board. So whoever's saying that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, okay? They don't know what they're talking about. It does exist because we are, what do you think? You think racist people just join the military and forget that they're racist because they're in the military? The fuck out of here. You know how many that's just like saying that somebody who is a sexual SA predator joined the military and because he accepts the values of the military, he doesn't proceed or she doesn't proceed to operate the way they do, then why are all these systems in places? And see, there's that ignorance again. That's a Democratic talking point. Get the hell out of here.
I get up.
I'm an independent. I will vote for the best candidate. I don't particularly care for Kamala Harris. I don't. But I tell you, ain't a snowball chance in hell I'll vote for that orange. He's talking about she don't even know if she's black. Motherfucker, you're orange. You don't know what color you are, bitch. Give me a break.
All right.
That ain't gonna happen, man.
Appreciate it.
It's not.
All right,
I
one.
appreciate your show, man, because I can come on here here. I'm just an old drill sergeant with a potty mouth. I know it. And I can just say what the hell I want to say. Love you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Absolutely a pleasure. You all, yeah, we certainly believe in we believe in free speech. Thank you, Juan. Move the program on. To some degree, you know, we have to limit a few things here and there simply because the TikTok gods have their own form of censorship. But left up to me, I don't believe in censoring the damn thing. I get folks damn near throwing the N-word around. I have to take that off though, because as I stated, the platform won't allow that. But other than that, I prefer folks add to the conversation. You can be fairly harsh in your criticism of me or anyone else, but as long as it's on topic. I mean, somebody gets up here and they're suddenly talking about your looks or your mama or something. We don't have time for that. But listen, we're talking. Folks believe that Kamala Harris is going to destroy the damn country. Others believe the same about President Trump or former President Trump. So folks are going to be passionate about their opinions. I don't mind the passion. Nevertheless, free speech does sometimes come at a cost. Name Barbara. Yes, in the military, it definitely is, and you can see it in the officer and NCO disparity. We get trained on it every 6 months to a year for a reason. Wow. Naeem, appreciate your service. Thank you for clearing that up. By the way, Alter Ego said something similar. He also is military and stated the same thing. I've had several military saying that. I see in the comments, Landon C64 says, you love MAGA. Yeah, I do. I enjoy political discourse, political conversation. I enjoy talking to MAGA. I've been talking to MAGA ever since MAGA has been in existence. And before MAGA, it was the Tea Party and so on and so forth. I've been talking to them for years, probably 20 years or more. And the MAGA and the Tea Party is essentially the same thing. So when folks say, well, after Trump, MAGA is going to go away, the hell it is. It was around before Trump. Folks feel like they're being disenfranchised and not being dressed properly, like my last caller was saying. Folks believe that they're competing, whatever the case may be. But MAGA's not going away. I mean, it was around before Trump. Looking in the comments, one of the only liberals who respects free speech, Johnny 11, you're damn right. When I see Johnny 11, that name made me think of Johnny 5, for any of you folks who may be old enough to know what movie. I'll leave it up to you. A little bit of trivia. Anyhow, tap the screen, get the likes up to about 20,000. I appreciate that. It helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. We are uncensored. Johnny 5 is still alive, Stevie D. I think you're on to something. Tap the screen, get the likes up to about 20,000. Smash that like button on YouTube as well. Going back to the box, we're asking that comment. Betty, we're the primary topic of the show, just to play this clip for folks who are now tuning in, is this came from President Trump, I believe in the last 24 hours.
State that you are a resident of, there's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
Well, I think the 6 week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I'm voting that I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand, everybody wanted Roe v. Wade terminated.
He goes into a spiel, but Florida currently has a 6-week ban, and there is a provision, there is a measure on the ballot, and they get to vote in that state. Remember, returning the rights to the state. Well, we've seen what happened in every single state when the people get a chance to vote on these bans. The bans go away. They put the 6-week ban in Florida, once again, like every other state. It came by way of the government without any say-so from the people. Well, the people are striking back in these states and fighting, well, if you're going to give it to the states and give it to states' rights and let the people actually decide. And when the people decide, these bans go away. Florida is currently dealing with a 6-week ban that came from Ron DeSantis in that government, but now they're voting on upping it from 6 to 24 weeks. You just heard Trump state he is going to vote in favor of expanding it beyond 6 weeks. He didn't come out and say 24 weeks. He just said 6 weeks is not enough. This guy said he was pro-life. talking about women that terminate the life of the unborn should be punished. Now all of a sudden he's saying you should get even more than 6 weeks to decide. We're asking the question is, do you believe his change in positions is authentic? Maybe it's for votes, maybe some other reason. Going in, and that's a good question. Aaron, I think that says Aaron. Many have asked this question because Trump is officially a felon. Can he vote? I don't know how that. Every state has different rules. He's a felon, but he hasn't been sentenced yet. So I don't know if losing your vote. You know, if you get a sentence, they tell you, okay, you're going to do this much time, or you're going to pay this fine, or you're going to be on house arrest or whatever, and then they'll say, well, stay away from firearms, or, don't go around your ex-wife, you can't vote. They usually list out what the punishments are. He has not been sentenced yet, so maybe he doesn't, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I've never been charged with a felony, so I am somewhat ignorant on this, but that is a good question. Can he vote at all? Which is crazy if a candidate cannot vote in the race they're involved in, that needs to be re-examined. I've never heard of that. Going back to the box, unapologetic. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Tap the screen, get the lights up to about 20,000. We'll see if we can make this program work tonight. Unapologetic. Good evening.
How you feeling, Tim? How you feeling?
I'm perplexed, for lack of a better term. How can he change? His stance has changed significantly. He went from complete ban, suggesting that women who terminate the life of the unborn should be punished, to now being okay with it up to 24 weeks. That's like 6 months.
Yeah, 6 times 4. Yep, 24. Yeah, your math is good.
It's so good I had to rethink. Why is he doing that?
You remember that scene from Brooklyn, Vampire in Brooklyn? The daddy.
Eddie Murphy?
Flip-flopping, just flip-flopping. Yeah, his ass watched, because on their levels, people don't understand presidents. They have better polls, you guys. They have better inside information, and he sees that he's losing a lot of votes. Even boomers are leaving.
Yeah. Well, and that's the question. When him making this flip like this, will it get him votes, lose him votes, make no difference? Now, the evangelicals overwhelmingly support Trump, probably 100 times more than Kamala Harris. And that was one of the main reasons why they wanted Roe v. Wade overturned. But if the guy you supported is now in favor of giving women up to 6 months, which is a viable child in a lot of cases, how is it likely to affect them?
I mean, as far as him trying to gain votes with women, it's done. It's like riding on a damn flat tire for 2 miles and then trying to pull over. And now that rim all fucked up. I mean, he can't throw no tire on there.
I've done that before. That's why I'm laughing. But keep going.
Yeah. And as far as the Christian group, the religious group, he's gonna start seeing them peel off. I mean, simply, they're gonna a lot of them still gonna vote for Trump because they're in red areas and it's red all down the ballot. But truly, a lot of them, the people that are like die-hard Bible thumpers, they're gone. They're leaving the camp. They're voting libertarian or some shit this year.
Wow. Well, there's no one in the race now that Trump has switched. There's no longer a pro-life candidate in the race. So where are they going to go?
I mean, that's what I mean. They're going to still vote for Trump, most of them. It's just that some people that actually have a pinch, and I mean a fairy godmother pinch of morals, they're going to not vote for him. Just a pinch. All you need is a pinch, and they're not going to vote for him.
Yeah. Now, seeing the comments on YouTube, Twain the Square says they are seeing the Trump we all see. Do you see this as unusual for Trump, or do you, like Twain is saying, is this something you would have expected from Trump, to have an about face this big? I mean, literally went from talking about punishing women who exercise their right to choose, to now supporting it up to 24 weeks. Wow. I mean, 24 weeks she's swollen, there's kicking, I mean, there's arms, legs, and eyes, a heartbeat, and he's okay at that point now.
he's okay with listening to medical professions for votes, for women votes, like tonight. If because I'm watching it right now, I always watch his silly ass, but he's up here talking, I love the women. I know the women love me. But you got a wife. Worry about your goddamn wife. Worry about all the women in the middle. That's what's wrong with MAGA. You guys are weird. Nobody wants your ass peeking in women's doctor's appointment. Because that's what it feels like when you in New York and you care about what women are doing with their bodies in California. It's weird. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to zoom your ass. No doctor's going to zoom your perverted ass on a forklift and ask you, what should I do with this abortion? Nobody cares about your opinion. Mind your damn business. I mean, that's why I like Tim Walz, because we have Kamala, who's, quiet, professional, and then Tim Walz has got tampons in the men's room calling people weird. I love this shit. We living in a world right now where people are standing on top of our soldiers' graves, throwing their thumbs up and smiling. And the family asked for it. They asked for it, and the family's smiling. And Tim, did you notice all the way to the, I don't want to laugh, but all the way to the right of the picture of them, it's literally an amputee vet that Trump pushed to the side of the picture. Look up the picture right now, Tim, and show people.
I haven't seen that. Let me see what I can find. Jesus Christ.
Type Trump, Arlington Park, thumbs up. And then zoom to the guy. He's an amputee vet. And Trump didn't even want him in the picture. They pushed him. I don't want to laugh, but...
You said Trump, Arlington Park, what?
Arlington Memorial, thumbs up. That's all you got to type in and click on images.
Jesus Christ. I know I did see the thumbs up picture, but I never thought to look for somebody.
Yeah, click on the one right there. Look at that. The guy right there, the amputee. No. The picture on the third top.
This one here, right?
Yeah, the full picture.
That one, yeah.
Yep.
I'm actually... I can't believe what you're saying comes true. Let me see if I can.
See the guy?
I'm trying to blow it up. Give me a second.
He has prosthetics, Tim. Wait till you see it.
No, not that one. Okay, what am I looking at here?
No, not that picture, Tim.
Okay, you sure you know what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a full picture. I have it on my page.
All right. Jesus.
You have it behind you. You see the third top one right there?
This one?
It should have. It's a full picture. The lady has the stroller. Yep, there you go.
All right.
That's it. This woman rolled her stroller over the graves of soldiers.
I actually can see what you're talking about even without blowing it up. Yeah, I see it. That the guy over to the other side. Oh man, I don't blew it up too much.
Yeah, they damn near cropped him out the picture. Damn near cropped my man out the picture. He's the only one that should be standing next to Trump. Like, if you want votes, I would bring him next to me if I was Trump. Why wouldn't you make
was it now? I don't know. I'm just why do I want this to do this? I'm just speculating, well, not speculating, but repeating a rumor. But I heard somebody once said that Trump stated before that he didn't like being in pictures with disabled veterans. Something about it didn't look good or something. I mean, I see the guy, he's missing an arm, and he's like a cross amputee. So he's missing his left leg and his right arm.
Yep, and Trump pushed his ass way over there, had some guy propping him up, and you see the guys like holding him up. And then the lady has a stroller just rolling through the graves.
I don't know why I can't bring it over. I clearly, I wanted to put it on the screen for everybody else to see it, but I clearly see what you're talking about. It won't let me scroll all the way over there, but I clearly see what you're talking about. He's a cross. That's got to be hard to be a cross amputee. Like, how the hell is that? Because that's normally what they do to you in some of these African countries with the machetes and shit, where you take off in Muslim countries, take off your right arm and your left leg so you can't support yourself. I mean, it's done as a harsh punishment, but this happened to him in war, I guess.
And this is what I mean. We live in a world where, I've been on the internet for a whole day just trying to find weird pictures where people are smiling at funerals, and none of them are good. They're either fucking ghosts or like spooky pictures. Like, nobody goes to a cemetery and throw the thumbs up and smile unless they're pissing on the grave,
Well, I got on YouTube, Chunky Girl Craft says, "What's wrong with Trump being at Arlington?" Now, I want you to explain it, because a lot of folks ask that same question. I mean, he's going out there to pay homage to some of our military that lost their lives in the line of duty. What's so bad about a former president going to pay homage to some of our best and bravest that lost their lives? I want you to give the explanation for that.
I don't think that him paying homage and or showing respect to any fallen soldier, nothing's wrong with that. Nobody's saying anything is wrong with that. The invite was weird. Him accepting that invite around election time, super weird.
Now, wait a minute. You're going to hold him in. The family of a lost soldier invites Trump. You're going to blame him? You're telling me he should have denied the family's invite?
No, I didn't say that. No, I said him publicizing it is weird around his campaign. He made this a campaign video, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get your point, but they try to say
that lady's son is rolling over in his grave right now, literally, because the lady rolling a stroller on his damn grave. Like,
I don't know if I take it that bad. I hear your point, but I think the idea is that the liberals don't give a damn about the country, and the right are patriots. They're always waving the flag, and they do care about our military, the pro-police, and all of that. And he's trying to take a campaign op to demonstrate that. I get your point that somebody's grave is not the place for that. Certainly somebody who died serving our country is not the place for that. I'm 100% behind you on that. However, I do understand why he was trying to do it. I think that the rules at Arlington Cemetery state that you're not allowed to do this. And the only thing I'm shocked by is why no one in his circle would have told him that. You didn't have a photographer or anybody around you that was military that would have told you can't do this at the gravesite of our dead. I mean, that's about the only thing I'm confused with.
No, I mean, they're going to play that ignorant, oh, we didn't know. Hold on real quick.
And they should have knew why he's holding. I see because some folks on my MAGA side is saying, I won't even raise a flag, not until it's not though of as MAGA support. I don't quite get that kind. Trump has a lot of things that he doesn't show that he does for people. A lot of checks written to people, and years later someone talks about it, not him. Michelle, I agree with that. I think most wealthy people have a lot of that in their past. I think most wealthy people don't done things for somebody here or there. And they got a lot of people like what you're talking about. Certainly a celebrity like Trump. The problem with Trump, though, is while I agree with you, there's a lot of folks he has helped. There's a lot of folks he has hurt, too. He's lost a lot of court cases, a lot of contractors and folks, employees, He's hurt a lot of people and attorneys that haven't gotten paid. So he has an equal balance, so to speak. Go ahead.
People's careers.
Yeah.
He's ended some of his longtime friends' careers.
Yeah.
Like, what Rudy gonna do?
Well, I don't blame Trump for what happened to Rudolph Giuliani. At the end of the day, Rudolph Giuliani was in it for the power. First of all, Rudolph Giuliani is a long time both politician and attorney. He was supposed to be smarter at what he was doing than Trump is. He's the one with the educated background in those fields. He was simply trying to use his education to help President Trump out and use Trump as a vehicle to extend his own wealth and power. And it didn't work. So I don't sympathize. I don't blame Trump. I mean, listen, he followed what Trump was saying, but Rudolph Giuliani knew better than that. So he put his own law career up, his own legacy and all of that. So be it. But he's a lawyer. He knows damn well you can't go on TV blaming the Ruby Freeman mom and daughter team of passing around USB drives and accuse them of cheating on the election with no proof. He's an attorney. He know that more than anybody. So listen, he dug his own. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, his entire crew, all the way down to Steve Bannon, Like, I don't even think Steve Bannon going in that booth and voting for Trump. If I was Bannon, I'm not voting for your ass. If I was Joe Rogan, I wouldn't vote for Trump. I think his best friends are going in the booth and voting blue. I know traditional Republicans are.
Wow.
Trump ass is done. I don't think he's going to get 70 million votes this year.
You don't think he's going to get how many?
70 million.
We got 74, so you think he would get 4 million? Anything's possible. I mean, I do believe Kamala Harris is far more competitive against him than Biden. We'll see. I mean, what is it, like 60 some odd days? It is getting close. So you do believe that Kamala Harris is certainly going to win?
Oh, she's going to demolish him. The women, they've already broke, like, every time they go on live and Zoom, they breaking the shit. Even the men for Kamala has been breaking the Zoom. Trump and them tried to break it.
Yeah. I got to move it on. I got you're going in and out for some reason. I'll go ahead and move it on, but I hear your point. So, V Pirate, always appreciate you in the comments there. V Pirate, thank you for your support. Says, funny how a lot of Democrats thought Trump was the best thing since sliced bread till he came out as a Republican. That I don't know if I believe that 100%. I'm not going to totally disagree with you. There were certainly Democrats, the likes of Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and Oprah, and all of them were associated with him back in the day. But in regards to your comment, Democrats thought Trump was the best thing since sliced bread until he came out as a Republican. Well, I'm assuming that the Republicans would feel the same damn way about any Democrat, or better yet, about any Republican that comes out as a Democrat. You're saying it's funny how Democrats thought Trump was the best thing since sliced bread until he came out as a Republican. Well, if you folks are, and I'm talking to MAGA, I'm talking to my beloved MAGA about this, if you feel someone is, a great person of great character, you think they're good for the country, wholesome and all of that, and they come out as a Democrat, you guys ain't gonna like them either. I mean, everybody from the Dixie Chicks to Taylor Swift got the exact same treatment from the right. The minute they started indicating that they were leaning left, you didn't want a damn thing to do with them anymore. So I don't know why that seems so odd in regards to President Trump. Looking in the comments, Tim, you was in love with your wife until whatever happened. Hell, something like that. Something like that. Yeah, if somebody switches over, you're gonna tell me MAGA would still be rolling with, let's say Hulk Hogan came out tomorrow and endorsed Kamala Harris. You think MAGA would still be favorable to Hulk Hogan? Come on now. I mean, I understand your point, but it works both ways. Twain to square. Mike Johnson made phone calls to Trump after he was told no. Mike Johnson made phone calls to Trump after he was told no. What did he tell him no to do? I'm not aware of that. Kamala was cringe last night, says Chunky Girl Crafts. Kamala, and that's the whole purpose. And I'll go back to the box. Tap the screen, get the likes up to about 25,000. Appreciate you folks tuning in this evening. We are uncensored. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body. We go left of Bernie Sanders from having dinner with Q. So understand this is free speech. In regards to Kamala Harris being cringe last night, that kind of was the goal for MAGA, right? Okay, you lean right, and you're suggesting Kamala was cringe. Were you ever going to say any damn thing else? Was it even remotely possible that you'd expect to hear anybody that's on the other side of the aisle from Kamala Harris say, you know what? She had a great interview last night. Of course she's cringe. That's the purpose of asking her to do an interview in the first damn place. And so there's something to criticize. Fact is, Willie Brown, bringing up Willie Brown and bringing up whether she's black, Jamaican, or Indian, that shit wasn't going anywhere. You need policies to insult. That's why the right was literally thirsty for her to go out and do something. Of course she sounds cringe. That's what you wanted her to talk for. Looking in the comments on the Arlington visit, says Twain the Square. Oh, so you're saying at the Arlington visit, they told President Trump's photographer not to take pictures, and he did it anyway. It is what, wow, that's bad. That is bad. His interview was half truths and empty promises. All right. Look at the comments. They lied to you and you said that we thought he was great. There was nobody who voted for Biden or Hillary or anyone else who ever thought he was anything but a scum. I think that Hollywood thought Trump was all right. And there's a lot of liberals that I do tend to think there were a lot of folks who leaned left that were favorable to Trump. I mean, keep in mind what he used to say. He was talking about you don't need to have assault rifles. He's on quote saying that. He's on video saying that the economy does better under Democrats and being critical of Republicans. Of course there's going to be some Democrats that's going to favor that. He was leaning left. Now he changed. And not only did he change, I don't think anybody refers to Trump as a moderate. So he didn't just go from being a Democrat to being a Republican. A lot of folks, when they get older, they do lean more conservative. But he's one far right. He's one far right. So, of course, there's going to be some Democrats that don't like him. It would work the same way in reverse. Going back to the box, Pat Carlson. Good evening. Welcome to the program, Pat. Somebody said, then he woke up. All right. Then Trump said all of that. Then he woke up, says Keely Ramos. All right, Pat, good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
First of all, let's look at Arlington Cemetery. Trump should not have been there at all. Even though he was invited by a veteran's wife, he should not have been there because it shows how big of a hypocrite he is. He has went on, how many times has he said that our fallen vets are nothing but...
I gotta disagree with you. First of all, if Trump was if the family of the fallen invited Trump to show up to the gravesite or whatever, and the liberals got a hand on him refusing to show up, what would the liberals be saying about him? If he was invited to pay homage to a lost soldier and he said no, the liberals would be saying, look, he's too busy, he's too high and mighty. I mean, they would be criticizing the hell out of him. I disagree with you. He should have came.
I understand what you're saying, but the fact that he has went on national TV and in speeches and everything and said that our vets are nothing but suckers and losers, basically, for him to sit there and go to a fallen vet cemetery, that to me screams hypocrite.
Yeah, I agree.
He turns around and says one thing and then does another. Yeah, by him not going, he's going to get flack too.
Yeah.
But, the fact of the matter is, he's a hypocrite. Another prime example, this video that you've been showing of him saying, let's move it to 24 weeks. When Roe versus Wade was overturned, he said, I did this. He took responsibility for that. Now he's saying, I'll vote it down. We're going to go 24 weeks. Hypocrite. Once again, a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Everything he does. Another prime example. He's sitting there telling, he was a Democrat. And he point blank said, if I ever run for office, I'm going to go as a Republican because Republicans are stupid. Hypocrite.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I think hang on, Pat. And I'm seeing on the YouTube side, I got several folks suggesting you're making some of this up. When did he ever refer to the Republicans as stupid? I've never heard that.
Before he ever ran for office, I would not sure exactly. I heard it.
You heard that? You heard that on MSNBC?
Did I personally hear it out of his mouth or not? But reports, and yes, these reports could be wrong, but I firmly believe that they could be true because of Trump himself. But from what I understand, he said that if he ever ran for office, he would basically run as a Republican because Republicans are stupid and basically would follow him down into the grave, which, let's face it, they're doing.
Okay, well, I just looked on the YouTube. What the hell just happened? I just looked while you were saying that. I want you to see if you can read on my monitor what's here, because I was able to fact check what you got there, and it says fact check. Trump did not call Republicans the dumbest group of voters. I don't know. I don't think he's ever said I don't think he's ever called them stupid. I don't think that's ever happened. I tried to look it up.
Well, I said stupid or dumbest. And like I said, this is, I admit that comment, I did not actually see a video or anything, but, with other things that I've heard Trump say, for example,
Are you going?
We're Google's basically, could I read that Trump as to why he would switch from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party? Yes, I could 100% believe that, and as far as, like you guys were saying, obviously the Democrats aren't going to stick up for Trump, when he switches party, because when he switches party, he also switches ideas of everything that the party stands for. Instead of the ideology of a Democrat, he now has the ideology of a Republican. So would the Democrats continue to say, oh, he's the greatest? No, they wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't disagree. Go ahead. What did you say? No, I was going to say that. I mean, Trump stated himself that he could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and his supporters would go nowhere. So he clearly himself is acknowledging I actually can get away with quite a bit. I mean, there's only one reason why somebody would say that. So for him to say I could shoot, literally commit an act of murder and my supporters would go nowhere, he is acknowledging that he knows he has some undying loyalty out there that a lot of other politicians do not have. I don't know if he would have wanted to be caught saying that on camera, but he was.
Right, and half the stuff that he says, is basically the same kind of rhetoric as that. Everything that comes out of that guy's mouth, it's the same type of stuff. And that's what I don't understand is why people, continue to follow him.
Well, let me push back and ask this. Lucas S. on YouTube says, brother, please, what has Kamala done in the last 4 years to justify a promotion from vice president to commander-in-chief? In other words, she doesn't deserve the job, at least according to one of my viewers. What leads you to vote for Kamala Harris? Do you believe she would be ready on day one?
Basically, yes, I do. Here's the deal, and people don't understand this, and I've heard you say it numerous times, time after time after time. The job of the vice president isn't there to make policies or anything else. The job of the vice president is to basically stay alive in case something happens to the president. Yeah, they have their jobs too, but they're not the ones that are making the policies or the rules. How many vice presidents have went and ran for office as president after they've ran, been vice president? Numerous. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I will.
Biden being one of them.
Yeah, I'll agree with your point. If somebody were to ask, what has Mike Pence did for the last, if we were in 2020 and somebody said, what has Mike Pence did for the last 4 years, you wouldn't have a lot to answer because you're right. The vice president doesn't really do a lot. So I don't know why Kamala Harris, because she's running for president, I guess, but everybody's expecting her to have this huge resume of what she did as VP when Dick Cheney, Al Gore, and none of the rest of them did. Like you said, your job is to just be there in case something happens.
And my sentiments on her being president is this. All right, first of all, I am not Republican, as I've said many times. I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat. I'm an American. I am for we the people. I care less whether it's a Democrat or a Republican. It's what they do in that office that matters to me. And the fact of the matter is, let her in the office. I sure in the hell don't want Trump in there, but let her in the office. Let her prove.
Okay, Pat, I'm gonna have to move it on. You're going in and out. Your signal is really weak. You're always welcome back. I seen the comments on YouTube. Big Dog Status, love that name. Big Dog Status says FKH. Remember the old FJB? Well, FKH is now the new song. I will tell you that fuck Joe Biden was far. I do believe fuck Joe Biden was far more effective than FKH ever will be, because FJB had a story behind it. where he thought people were yelling "Let's go Biden" when they were at, or "Let's go Brandon," or what? Let's go. They were yelling "Let's go Brandon," but he thought they were yelling "Let's go Biden." And I mean, it came by way of an organic development. It had a good story behind it. FKH has nothing behind it, so I don't think FKH is ever going to catch on like it'll catch on, but it ain't gonna have the same. It ain't gonna have the same flair as FJB. It's just not. Looking in the comments, the reporter was interviewing a guy named Brandon. Okay, but you know the story. Okay, I didn't get the story totally right, but you're saying no, dude. The reporter was interviewing a guy named Brandon, and they were saying "fuck Joe Biden." Okay, so the crowd was yelling "fuck Joe Biden," and Biden thought they were saying something else. I think that's how it goes. Joe Biden, but he said. No, they're cheering, "Let's go, Brandon." Okay, all right, fair enough. But like I said, that story developed out of something. FKH is essentially just trying to ride on the glory of FJB. It ain't gonna work like that. Fuck. What does that say? Chameleon? King Fire. Because folks say, Kamala Harris is flip-flopping, things like that. They're calling it a chameleon. With Trump doing this on abortion, I don't think the chameleon stance you want to go there anymore. I mean, now that Trump is okay with women up to 24 weeks, I don't think calling Kamala Harris a chameleon is even, that's just like the FKH at this point. It sounds better when you're suggesting we should vote for Trump, because if you don't vote for Trump, you're going to get a flip-flop or a chameleon. But when Trump's doing the same damn thing, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to point it out. I mean, because you're basically getting the same damn thing with Trump. Last caller ran out of free tampons. You guys with that damn anti-LGBT shit. Anyway, tap the screen, get the likes up. Certainly on YouTube. Get your boy on up to about 70 likes. We can certainly do that. We are MAGA friendly. Always have been, always will be. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. That's how free speech works. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. Going back to the bottom, so go to the one and only Den Cow. Good evening. Welcome to the well, wait a minute. Did I hit Megan? Kamala did a bad job on her interview and she can't run this country, says Joan. Well, whether she can run the country or not is up for debate, but like I stated before, if you don't like Kamala Harris, it essentially was impossible for her to do a good job in the interview. The only purpose, if you lean right, if you're MAGA or conservative, the only purpose of watching Kamala Harris's interview is to look for negative things to criticize her with in the morning. That was it. There's no possibility that she can do a good job. That's not your goal, is to give her a good rating. Your goal is to give her a bad one. Megan, good evening. Megan, are you there? Okay, maybe it's me. Let me go ahead and switch over to Wi-Fi. Maybe it's my damn, because her signal's looking weak too. We'll give it a second for my side to reset. Okay, Megan, are you there? Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, I think it's.
Okay, yeah, because we can. Okay, we can.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can try to make it work. What brought you on?
Yeah, no, I've been a long time, I've tuned in for a long time, and I just thought, maybe I would hop in here and put my 2 cents in, but I think it's pretty deplorable that Trump, visited Arlington and made a campaign event about that. Because he was warned that it was against the law to do videos and pictures and make like a campaign about that, and his camp even got into it with some of the officials like at Arlington. So I just think that was like another deplorable thing that he did to our veterans,
Yeah. If it went down the way they're suggesting, listen, at the end of the day, I'm okay with him answering an invite from the family of the fallen. But if you went there and you started taking photos and you were told not to do it, certainly that it's a federal, you're violating federal law, and your response was to fight back because you really wanted the photo for your campaign, then yeah, that's wrong. If that's what happened, that is absolutely wrong.
Right, and like I totally get the whole accept an invite, show your pay your respects to the fallen soldiers, like that. I don't take issue with, but the whole playing ignorant, that he didn't know, like you were president, if you should know the rules of Arlington, and you were warned beforehand, and now you're sitting in interviews saying that you didn't know that people run your TikTok and like your campaign, and maybe the family put those videos out there. He's blaming the Gold Star family that invited him in the first place. That's just
I heard him say it was a setup. Okay, I don't know what just happened on TikTok. I gotta reset my damn device. My whole TikTok app went down. So hold on, bear with me on YouTube for a minute. I am dying. Now, I got an account on Rumble, folks. The Handsome Liberal on Rumble. I know there's more MAGA on Rumble, and I'm trying to make it so that, because I would like to be able to speak to you folks on I don't know why, but I do know why. MAGA's not a big fan of TikTok because it's Chinese owned. And I would love to be able to interact with MAGA. So I'm trying to get a Rumble account started. I need some of you folks, if you will, in your spare time, if you have a Rumble account, to follow the Handsome Liberal on Rumble, because I need a certain amount of followers before I can go live. And I think at that point I can then interact with you. I'm trying to make it happen on Rumble. So it's not that I'm deliberately trying to only pick liberals. It's just most of my TikTok account is liberals, which is why I deliberately read your comments from YouTube. But I would rather be some of you folks be to come up, because a lot of you folks have a hell of a lot more to say than you can type. I'd gladly bring you up. Looking in the comments, don't rely on the social media app. There's online tools that you can use. Mark, I'm open to that. I'm open to that. But the problem with the online tools is the audience isn't there. I mean, if I go get a tool, where are the people coming from? Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, there's literally millions of people. So the tool may be valuable, but the people have to come from somewhere. I need the audience. The tool by itself is useless. So this is a thing that people are up in arms about. Oh my God, how about the border and the economy to start with? I like your statement, Juan, but I will tell you this. When you get the right passing laws that prevent a biological male from playing for a female team, which I 100% support. I don't believe a biological male should, I'm 6'6", 300 pounds. I don't believe I should be able to identify as a woman and go kick women's ass at female sports. But your statement is, so this is the thing people are up in arms about. Oh my God, how about the border and the economy? I can tell you the same damn thing about that whole males playing in women's sports. That shit ain't happening in 99.9% of schools. That is not happening in most schools in America. Whole states do not have a single transgender athlete trying to play for the other team. So when you start saying, focus on things that are important, I'm going to push back and bring that up. That ain't happening every damn where, and the right is making a huge issue about that, as if there are a bunch of transgender females trying to go and dominate women's sports. That shit is exceptionally rare. It's wrong. As I stated, I don't support it. I understand your take, but to be passing laws and talking about it at every rally, that's just incredibly rare. That's not happening everywhere. So you can't suggest that the liberals focus on the main issues while you're making big noise over that. Let me go back to TikTok and see if I can bring the live back up. My device had reset, so give me a second here. Okay, Trump strikes back is where okay, it says resume, so let's see if it's still continuing. Trump wants to make sure that crap ain't happening. Better than nip it in the bud. No. As the last viewer stated, if the biggest issues like the border, the economy, if that is what we should be focusing on, you shouldn't be hearing about transgender. I mean, listen, if he want to nip it in the bud, fine, but he's bringing that shit up at every rally. He's bringing it up at it's not that big of an issue. You can't downplay that. He's overdoing it. Appreciate you folks that were holding on TikTok. I don't know why my device reset, but we're back. Looking in the box, we'll go straight to bring another caller up. Dude wasn't that in the past Olympics and just this Olympic. It's in France, Corey. You're saying, was there a transgender? I think there was a woman that was on hormones or something, but it was a boxing match where everybody was talking about making it sound like it was a transgender man that was posing as a woman that got in a boxing ring with an actual biological woman and was beating her ass. That it was not even true. It was a woman that had, I think, an extra chromosome. I mean, this person was born a woman with female genitalia and was taking hormones or something like that does give you more male features or whatever. But regardless of what's going, it was in France. It wasn't happening in America. It was in France. Trump laws ain't gonna stop what happens in France. It was in. If you gotta go to a whole nother country to give an example, that should tell you a lot. So I go back to my original statement. That shit ain't happening here that often. You gotta really come up with an example from France to make your point. All right, going back to the box. I mean, neither one of the participants were even American. It happened on French soil, and it was two folks from different countries. And you're bringing it up here in America. Lou Man Chow. Don't know what happened with my last. Chow, are you there? Okay, he's there, but he's not there. So we will drop him. I guess he had a phone call or something. And we'll try it again. Dencal is there, one of my subscribers. Let's see. I don't know what this is. Powerlifting world record held by whatever lets me win. Look it up. Hell of a case. Dencal, good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much at all. I had somebody talking about this whole Arlington. You know, well, you certainly know because you discussed it with me yesterday. The Arlington Cemetery scandal that Trump is dealing with, and I had a viewer state that with the border and the economy and other things, why the hell are the liberals so focused on the Arlington thing? And I brought up the counter that with so many rallies that Trump is having and bringing up, you know, biological males going in another bathroom or bringing up biological males playing for female teams. And I'm like, as my viewer said, with the economy and the border, why the hell are you bringing this up so much? This is not even happening that often.
Right. It makes no sense that first of all that they trying to tell us what should be important to us.
That is true too.
He went to one of the most revered, you know, grounds and cemeteries in the world that has our fallen soldiers on it, and he just should be able to just break the rules because of what? I don't get it. It's literally a law that prevents it, and the reason why they did not press charges is because the woman that the incident happened to said she was afraid that she would get targeted by MAGA.
So the woman also had an issue with it though?
The woman, she was one of the people that tried to stop his. They were going to let him go in with his photographer, but they wouldn't. They said the people that were there from his campaign could not go in because it's not supposed to be a campaign event.
Right.
So they just pushed the lady aside and just bogarted their way in there. And said they had permission because Mike Johnson called.
Oh, hang on one second, Dick. I'll let you continue, but I want to address a comment because this is something I get from a lot of viewers on my MAGA side. Gunner42 says, by the way, thank you for your service. Gunner says, talk to some Republicans too. Bro, you're talking to a bunch of Democrats, bro. I'm about to drop the child. I can't make Democrats come on this side. I don't run for MAGA. I can't make MAGA come on TikTok. I apologize for that. I try to bring them on, but for some reason, TikTok is loaded with folks from the left. I can't make MAGA or conservatives or Republicans come to TikTok if they don't like the damn app. They don't believe that, you know, the app is Chinese owned and they don't like the damn app. So I've been telling you folks on YouTube, my MAGA side, I have a Rumble account. I need more followers before I can go live. So The Handsome Liberal on Rumble, please go to that and follow that and get the numbers up. But I can't make the right go to TikTok. I try to bring them up when I can. Go ahead, then, Cal.
Yeah, and so it was just yes, it's actually a crime. It's got a statute under it. But even more than that, it's just, why would you just be disrespectful at a gravesite? And people saying, why are we talking about it? It's because he did it.
Well, how about this one, though? But, okay, because in regards to this story, Tuquer88 says this story is so insignificant, Dems are desperate. But I will counter by simply saying this. Before the DNC, I had folks come on the program and tell me that the Democrats are not going to have flags there. During the Obama administration, folks are saying he didn't wear a flag lapel. Even talked about him wearing a brown suit. So when you talk about stories that are insignificant, that's politics. I mean, folks were complaining that when Obama got off of Marine One, he didn't salute the soldiers. That's politics. All of a sudden now when it's Trump, it's suddenly insignificant. There were plenty of stories like that were against both Biden and Trump. And Biden and Obama. So look, Trump got into the political arena. This is what happens. You don't get passes when you were doing the same damn thing to other people.
And he right now he's interviewing to become the commander-in-chief of the military. Yes, it matters that he's being disrespectful to our fallen soldiers. Yes, it matters. It's very important. You let Kamala Harris do something like that and see what they think about it.
And that's a good point. If a liberal did what Trump did, the right wouldn't be talking about how insignificant it is. I mean, that's how look, you find weaknesses of the other side and you point them out. You find mistakes, violations. If what Trump did at Arlington was a violation of the law there, you're going to tell me the right wouldn't bring that up if Biden or Hillary or Obama did it? They would just totally ignore it, huh? No, of course it's going to come up. I mean, he's standing at a gravesite smiling, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and I want to see what the spin is over this abortion thing. Because trust me, there was a whole bunch of evangelicals who swept it down. They were single issue voters about him getting rid of Roe v. Wade. Now he's saying out in public that he's not pro-life.
Yeah. Well, I think the issue is, though, if I'm an evangelical, even with Trump flip-flopping on Roe v. Wade, I'm going to tend to think that, like a lot of liberals think, he's just lying about this to get elected. But if I'm evangelical, I know, listen, deep down, he got our back. He's just saying this to get reelected. But once he gets back in office, he going to go for a federal ban or what. And I do believe that, by the way. I know the right doesn't like saying it, but I do believe, just like if the liberals banned some of the Second Amendment, you would think they're going to go all the way. Well, because at the end of the day, the liberals believe limitations on the Second Amendment saves lives, and the right believes that limitations on abortion saves lives. They have a lot of similarities in common, with the exception of the Second Amendment is actual constitutional right. But outside of that, they're very similar. If you can get halfway, why not go all the way? So yeah,
I can understand where somebody might say that they want to try to do something that they really know they probably can't do. But to just say, like how can you say that to your constituents after, and they probably don't even know. I looked up the numbers the other day. There's actually been more abortions in the country now than before Roe v. Wade.
I wonder why that is. I wonder why. I've heard that too before. A lot of folks on the right point that out to say that, look, they didn't ban the damn thing. More women are getting rid of their kids now than they did before Roe v. Wade was. I wonder, why is that happening, I wonder?
I'm not sure, but what I am sure about is those people who out there saying that they're doing this because they're saving babies are not. They're not saving babies. And now they're listening to a guy who just lied to them and in hopes that he's lying to them. Like they're really voting for him because they hope he's is lying to them. He's not.
I gotta disagree with you, Dan Cow. I absolutely do believe if you want to save the life of the unborn, you got a really good chance of making that happen federally with President Trump. I personally do believe that he realizes right now in terms of trying to get elected, having a strong pro-life stance is a losing strategy. So the goal is to backtrack on that, focus on the campaign, get elected, and once you're in it, then you can correct it. MAGA's not going to give a damn if he changes his mind once he gets in office. The goal is to get him in office. So I really do believe that.
Right. The goal also was to stop and save all of these unborn babies. It is not happening.
Well, it will if he go federal with it, and I do, because like I've said on the show before, there are several states in this country where if a woman is pregnant and let's say you commit a robbery or your boyfriend and you beat the hell out of whatever the case may be, if you harm her and the baby that's in her, you can be charged. If the baby dies, you can be charged with the costing the life of that baby. So I believe that once Trump is in office, all you do is need someone to take one of those laws before the Supreme Court as proof. You've already deemed that taking the life of the unborn is murder, because if an assailant does it, you're going to charge it with an additional count of murder. So once you deem it as murder, then even in liberal states that still have pro-choice provisions, the Supreme Court will have now ruled that it's a murder, and that means even in the liberal states, the feds can go in there and charge them with murder. I mean, that's how you get your federal ban. Just bring up the states already charge folks with murder for taking the life of the unborn. And 6-3 majority, I'm sure you would get that through.
Well, I don't know. It would be a pretty lengthy process to get it.
I don't think so.
They would have to go through. No, they would have to go through. They would have to go through Congress first.
No, if you can get the Supreme Court to rule that taking the life of the unborn is murder, then the Supreme Court has already ruled that when you do it, it's murder. It doesn't change when it goes from an assailant or a robber doing it to some doctor using an instrument and doing it. Just like if I came to your house right now and I had a medical degree and I just took your life, it's still murder. That's because I'm a physician. Don't excuse me for it. So once you deem it's murder.
I hear what you're saying, Tim, but it's not that simple. If it was that simple, they'd have already done it.
They didn't have a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court, didn't Cal? They weren't sure they would get it through.
They do now.
Yes, and that's what will happen once Trump gets in office. They don't want to do it now because if they do it right now, they'll prevent Trump from getting in office. Once he's in office, I'm sure that'll go through.
I'm saying when he first had him and they got rid of Roe v. Wade, they could have made that same assumption then. I'm sure it's people at think tanks and everything who's already floated this idea that you're talking about. I don't think it's that simple.
So then let me ask it to you this way. If Trump gets elected, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being 1 being impossible. If Trump gets elected again, how likely do you think we'll end up with a federal ban? Scale of 1 to 10.
It would have to be it would have to be in around like a 20 week, which is something that I think that the Democrats could probably get behind rather than a 6 week.
So in other words, you're saying zero. You're saying it's a certainty because you said 20 weeks. That means that's not a federal ban.
Right. Yeah. I'm zero chance that there's going to be a federal ban on all abortions. It's zero.
With a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court, you don't think there's no way to do that?
Zero chance. This country would look. You think it's bad now with the women that's pissed off about Roe v. Wade? Let them take it. Like I said, there's been more abortions now. People are just not going to stand for just a total ban. I know it. Like.
Do you think he would attempt it?
I think that if somebody could get a bill on his desk, yes, I do believe he would sign it.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is he would have to have a filibuster-proof Senate, and it just it's never going.
I vehemently disagree with you. I really think that all you got to do, like I said, is go before the Supreme Court and get them to say, listen, the lower courts have already ruled that if somebody takes the life of the unborn, they can be charged with murder. Why are we letting doctors get away with it when you would charge a robber or somebody else with murder? Why is the doctor being? I mean, if it's a perfectly healthy child in the development stages, why are you letting a doctor do it, but you're charging the assailant with murder? And I think the Supreme Court with a 6-3 majority would be like, yeah, I really think it would get through. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you need Congress. I think that 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court would certainly say, yeah, that's a good argument. And at that point, taking the life of the unborn would have been an adjudicated process by the Supreme Court. Congress ain't even involved in it at that point. The Supreme Court ruled that if you take the life of the unborn, it's murder. At that point, it's a crime. For anybody that does it, that's a federal ban. It's a crime. You don't need Congress at all.
Well, I mean, nothing's impossible under Trump. But what I will say, this country upside down. And you know that before, they had these back alley, procedures.
Yeah, I believe all that. It would get messy, but you would have said the same thing if I had told you 4 or 5 years ago, because this is what the Democrats were saying. If you elect Trump, he's going to roll back Roe v. Wade and ban, if I'd have told you 5 years ago, if Trump gets in there and he gets the right to appoint the Supreme Court, they're going to have states out there using laws from the 1800s. You would have said the same thing you're saying now. The country would never let you roll back Roe v. Wade and use laws from the 1800s. The country wouldn't accept it. Well, we're here now. And it happens.
From 1800s. They're getting shot down as soon as they make the ballot.
And maybe if the Supreme Court did the same thing that I'm talking about, it would eventually lead to people getting shot down. But what I'm saying is I do believe, at least for a time, you would have a federal ban. I think that he was successful. Now, like I said, because the way I mentioned doing it, the Congress and Senate is not involved. But once they do it, you're going to have the outcry that you're talking about and likely have a far left administration to follow, and then they would just codify it like what you're talking about. But for a time, you'd likely have a federal ban.
Yeah, I don't know that Trump would want that kind of pressure on him as the president. I don't think he doesn't stand by, like, he doesn't really back this stuff that he's proposing. He's listening to people from the Heritage Foundation and these billionaires kind of tell him what to think.
You really think Trump is afraid of pressure? I mean, he looks for pressure. The guy literally goes out and hunts down pressure. He likes that type of stuff.
Yeah, but I do believe one thing. Even though he didn't change his attitude and stuff, I believe he understands his own mortality now.
Yeah, well,
I believe he understands.
And he understands his own mortality after somebody tried to take his life, and he's still talking shit. So clearly, he don't care. He didn't even take a week's break. I mean, he was still talking shit with the Band-Aid on his ear.
He was talking shit 10 seconds after it happened.
Right. So he don't care nothing about pressure. I gotta move it on, Diddy Cow.
One last thing.
Go ahead.
I don't know if people really, Trump's supposed to be having the J6 honor ceremony at his Bedminster.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody was saying, can somebody notify the authorities in New York, because he is a convicted felon, and under the rules of bail, you cannot hang around other convicted felons.
Wow.
You can't be in the vicinity, all of that stuff. Like, he is about to go break his bail, and I guess we're probably gonna do it now. Well, that's just Trump. I don't see what the big deal is. Yeah, that's another story from that guy who said all of this stuff is not a big deal. Him breaking the laws, going around the country doing whatever the hell he wants to, is a big deal. Yeah,
he's living a really good life for a felon. I got to move it on, Dick Counter. I'll talk about it on the other side. Appreciate it. And he does make a good point. Like I said, I've never been arrested, so I don't be thinking of these things. But he is right. Felons are legally not allowed to hang around felons. That's usually what happens. And he's going to go hang around the January 6th folks. Now, two things about this. First of all, MAGA did a really good job trying to suggest it was Ray Epps that caused that crowd to go insane. It was the FBI. It was Antifa. It wasn't MAGA. Trump said go peacefully and patriotically. And Trump just fucking all of that up by going and getting with the people and celebrating. Clearly, he wouldn't do that for Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the FBI, or Ray Epps. So all of the work that MAGA tried to do to defend former President Trump, he just gonna undo it, knowing that they done all of this work to try to separate him from what happened. He gonna undo all of that by making songs with the group, offering to pardon the group, and now commemorating them. So yeah, the idea that was done by Ray Epps or it was Antifa or Black Lives Matter, Trump makes it clear, these are my people. These are my people. I got their back. So I don't think we even need to bring up Ray Epps or any of them folks anymore. I think Trump is clarifying that was MAGA or whatever the hell they were. The minute they did that, they part of the family now. They're MAGA. He's literally making it clear there that he's down with him. Going to the box, Snowbird, I got you. How is that not something to be critical of? I mean, wow, I don't know what else to say on that, but continuing on. But yeah, I do believe that that there is a path, certainly with a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court, there is a pathway to a federal ban if you really want it. I think there is. Continuing with the program, one of the, by request, Snowbird, good evening, welcome to the program. Snowbird, are you there?
Tim?
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
You stated you wanted to talk in the comments, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I want to say is this. I hate government, period, okay?
Okay.
And I believe they want division so we can all fight and not look over there.
Who are they? You said they want division. Define they.
I'm defining the deep state.
Okay.
The deep state, okay. So the deep state actually works for the billionaires, okay? The Bill Gates, the George Soros, the Rockefellers, all those people. These people are funded by them.
Okay, well let me just make sure I get clarity, because you said you don't like government, so you do realize Trump used to be the head of government just like Kamala Harris, and now he's running to be again. You mentioned billionaires. You do realize Trump is a billionaire. Is Trump what you're talking about?
Correct. I'm not saying all billionaires. I'm not saying all. There's some good ones, not many, but there's a lot that sold their soul to the devil. We need to wake up and see what's going on and stop being so divided.
Give me some names of some decent billionaires in your opinion. I'm just curious.
Okay. So we got Hollywood, George Soros. We got Bill Gates. We got
Are these good or bad?
These are bad people.
Give me some good ones. Give me some. You said you're not saying all billionaires. Give me some good ones.
Oh, some good ones would be like I believe President Trump is a good guy. I honestly believe that because if you go back and look at Oprah Winfrey had her show like in the 80s and Donald Trump was on her show, if you go look at the video, he said he never wanted to be a politician, but if America needed him, he would step in.
Okay. Give me another one. You got any more?
I don't think there's a lot of billionaires that are for the people, because there's 1% of the billionaires. This is worldwide. This is not just America. This is like worldwide, okay? We got billionaires from Canada. We got billionaires from England. We got the Royals. We got...
What about Oprah? Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire.
She's evil. I'm telling you. What do you think she started that school for the kids? All the girls got missing. Don't you remember that?
You blaming that on her?
Okay, if Oprah was a good person, why didn't she open her door for the people in Maui? Why? Iraq. Why?
Okay.
You guys got to start looking at the deeper picture because these people are all involved in child trafficking. I'm telling you, it's deeper than what you think. It's way deeper than what we think.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now.
So you're mentioning children, child trafficking, you mentioned over with the school. How do you feel about Trump now suggesting that he's willing to vote for a woman to terminate the life of the unborn up to 6 months?
I'm totally against abortions. Okay, I had my grandson today is 21 years old. My son was 17 years old when he was pregnant. And I told him I will be here for him, whatever he decides to do, and thank God he's safe.
Yeah, but wait a minute though. You just talked about Oprah Winfrey with kids and all of this. Trump is talking about terminating children. How do you said he's a good guy. Can you be a good guy if you're okay with terminating the life of the unborn up to 6 months?
Well, President Trump is actually fighting child trafficking, human trafficking right now. It's a lot deeper than what we all think. Right now, all this politician stuff, fighting against each other, it's all about what's going on.
So as long as you fight child trafficking, you can be okay with terminating the life of the unborn up to 6 months. That's a viable fetus at that point. You can be okay with doing that.
Yeah, because a woman, I'm a woman too, okay? So if a woman decides to open her legs and have sex because she wants to have sex and have a child, why does she have the rights to terminate that child? How about the father's right too?
So then Trump is not taking into consideration the father's right. He's giving her the right to take the life of the child.
He's giving it back to the states.
No,
it should be.
He's saying that he personally will vote to allow a woman to terminate a child's life up to 6 months. Did you not hear that?
I did not hear that.
Okay, give me a quick second. I want to get your opinion on this then. I think this is something you need to hear. This came within the last 24 to 48 hours. This is former President Trump.
That you are a resident of, there's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
I think the 6 week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I'm voting that I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand, everybody wanted Roe v. Wade terminated for years, 52 years. I got it done. They wanted to go back to the states. Exceptions are very important for me, for Ronald Reagan, for others that have navigated this very, very interesting and difficult path. Our country's been torn apart by Roe v. Wade for years. And if you go back 10 years, 15 years, all they wanted to do is they wanted it back in the states. They didn't want it to be in the federal government. I was able to do that. I believe in exceptions for life of the mother. If you look, incest, rape.
Thanks for watching. Okay. Stay updated.
Now Lester Holt comes in, but you heard him say 6 weeks is too short. He wants to expand it. The bill he's voting on goes to 24 weeks. So that's 6 months. He's giving a woman 6 months to choose. What say you?
Well, I believe this. If a woman's going to abort her child, it's because she had sex with somebody that raped her, or maybe something else. But I don't believe what Donald Trump says. I don't believe there should be any abortions to any child unless the child was born, like if the mother's going to die, if she has a baby, the mother is in risk of dying, I believe there should be an abortion. Yes, I do agree with that. I don't know I don't know, like, me personally, I'm totally against abortion, period, right?
So what do you think of him saying that? You said he's a good guy. If he's okay with you terminating the life of a child up to 6 months, does he still keep his good guy status?
Well, that's only one topic. You're not talking about all the other
that could be millions of children, Snowbird. I mean, he's voting in favor of something that could lead to the loss of life of millions of kids. You don't know how far this could go. What are you talking about?
Because we know we need children. We need the future children to be born, to be developed. And I don't know. I have to go look at that clip because what you give me, I haven't seen it before, but I have to go look at it before I can even question that clip.
Okay. All right, but
There could be more to it, or there could be less to it.
what else do you think is going to be added to this? He clearly is saying the phrase 6 weeks is not enough. What else you think is going to come out?
I don't know what he's thinking.
He's thinking that a woman should be able to terminate the life of a kid. He's turning liberal in front of your face. What do you mean? What else you think he's going to add to it?
I'm totally, like I said, I don't know. The clip that you give me, I have to go back and look at
he's on TV. Snowbird, this isn't CNN or MSNBC, an article. You're looking at the words coming out of his mouth. What else do you want to see?
It's one of those fake channels up there. I can see the peacock in the corner. So I'm gonna wait before I even make that decision.
Okay.
All I know is if a woman wants to get pregnant or have sex, she just goes to banks or take the birth control pill.
All right. Now on YouTube, Jay Rogers, thank you for the super chat. One of my viewers said, "I'm wasting my time. MAGA will hear clear proof like you just played for her, but it doesn't matter." Now, wait, hold on. Before, I'll let you continue, Snowbird, but you know he did say he could take somebody's life in the middle of Fifth Avenue, and some folks would not go anywhere. Are you one of those folks?
Am I one? Sorry, say that again, Tim?
Trump once stated that he could take someone's life in the middle of Fifth Avenue, and some of his supporters would not go anywhere. Are you one of those type?
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
I'm for humanity. I'm for humanity.
All right. And
I'm 100% for humanity.
Fair enough. But you do hear him here giving women up to 6 months to destroy humanity, right? You are for humanity.
I hear that, but I want to research it, right? I don't want to question something I haven't really looked into it yet.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, I got to move it on. You're always welcome back. Do the research. Come back to me. We can talk about this topic in the future. I'd love to get back from you.
Tim, one more thing before I leave.
Sure.
All I want is people to look at the 2017 when Donald Trump got inaugurated in, okay? Mm-hmm. I want people to listen to his words, listen to the words he says, and I want you to watch the military that turned their back on him and then research why they did that, okay?
Okay, but let me get the cliff notes from you, though, before that happens. Why did the military turn their back when Biden was taking the office, in your opinion?
Because there's a continuity government going on right now.
Who's leading the country? Who's running the country right now as we speak?
Military.
So what is Biden's job?
Biden's just a standby to keep everybody focused on what else. Because you gotta work, you gotta wait.
They picked him. Wait. They picked an 80-year-old man to be a standby to keep people focused. He can barely even speak. Yeah. He's the guy.
I know that. They can't tell you guys what's going on. They gotta show you, right?
Okay, so
they gotta show you what's going on.
So right now, is there a name you can give me of who's leading this country?
Well, actually, I know a man. I don't know his name right now, but I do know that military is running America right now and running the world. The military alliance is running everything.
What is Trump's job? Is he just a regular citizen?
Yeah, Trump was chosen in 2015. Military had came to him and told him that they can take out Obama right now. And Trump said, go ahead and take him out. And they said, why should we take him out? We can take them all out.
Why would the military suggest taking the life of a sitting president? What did Obama do that they would? And why was Trump in favor of it? Wow. Why would Trump want that?
It's called Pizzagate. Pizzagate.
Yeah, that's what the children and the blood of. I thought that was Hillary Clinton's thing.
Look it up. President Obama spent $65,000.
I know the story. I don't want to get us bad. I know the story of Pizzagate.
I know.
So was Hillary Clinton? Wait, hold on, because Hillary Clinton was allegedly in on that too. That was the rumor. Did she face any type of justice?
Yes, she did.
Explain.
Yes, she did.
Explain.
She's gone. She's gone.
Like, as in no longer alive?
No. AI, CGI, mask, whatever you want to take. She's already gone. She's been gone since December 31st, 2018. She's been gone. She's gone.
How was she taken out?
Well, if you look at a video, there is videos all over TikTok. You'll see her going into one of the SUVs, and you'll see them pulling her arm and putting her in the van and then taking her off. You'll see it. It's out there.
So at the DNC, when she gave that speech, who was that?
I'm sorry, Tim. What was that?
At the Democratic National Convention a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
Who was that? That person that got on stage claiming to be Hillary Clinton. Who was that?
It was definitely not her. It was either a CGI, green screen.
Wait, hold on.
AI.
That was held at the United Center. Unfortunately, folks, as like I said, I don't believe in block banning or censoring anybody, but TikTok got my last guess. Wow. It's been a while since I had a guess get snatched by the TikTok gods. Snowbird, you're always welcome back to the program. I understand your opinion is controversial to a lot of folks. I don't believe in block banning or censoring. That was my YouTube side is going crazy as well. When I have someone on making statements that may be somewhat controversial, sometimes it can be difficult to keep a straight face because the comments are going insane. Somebody called her reptilian. What the fuck? Anyway, Snowbird, you're always welcome back to the program. She's mentioned that before, that Hillary Clinton was taken out, capital punishment style. Now, she said, what was it, December 31st, 2018? I've had guests say the same thing happened to Joe Biden as well. So I'll leave it at that. No, they hate Trump because they were programmed to do so. You ever see the old sitcom, She's a Small Wonder, where it was like Vicky the robot? I'm telling my age. Programmed. She was programmed. Well, he says, no, they were programmed to do so. They hate Trump because they're programmed. How do you... Wow. All right. So maybe some of you folks don't remember Small Wonder, but it made me think of that. Somebody said it was programmed. Damn. That's why she was at the DNC. That's how stupid the speaker is right now, because Hillary Clinton was surely at the DNC. And I was going to say that in regards to that wasn't Hillary Clinton in front of us. That was at the, what is it called? The United Center in Chicago, where the Chicago Bulls play basketball. And I mean, you know how many people can fit in a basketball stadium? Well, you got to add a lot more folks to that because they were also on the floor. You know, you go play basketball, everybody's sitting up in the stands, but the court is empty so the players can play. Well, the whole damn court was also filled with people. And none of them recognized that the person in front of them was not Hillary Clinton. I mean, you got to be talking about 50, 60, 70, maybe 80,000 people. Wow. All right, let me continue on. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to about 50,000. 50,000, F-I-D-D-Y. Appreciate you folks tuning in this Friday evening. You could be anywhere you want to be. Appreciate you tuning in with me. Free speech is how we operate. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. As I always state, and it's always good to have a real live example. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. I think many of you folks damn sure believe that now. Real quick in the super chat, Gen X. Appreciate it. He said more time, not 24 weeks as the bill says, please quit being disingenuous and making shit up or adding to what Trump actually said. Well, the bill they're voting on, Gen X, is 24 weeks. That's it. The bill doesn't give the voters a slot to fill in. Okay, I think 6 weeks is too short. Well, I want to put 6.5. No, the bill is for 24 weeks, Gen X. So if he votes yay for the bill, he's voting for 24 weeks. There is no middle ground. Just want to point that out. He can tell you he thinks it should be more than 6 weeks. Maybe he thinks 8. Maybe he thinks 9. The bill is for 24 weeks. So it doesn't matter what he thinks. Remember, President Trump stated he wasn't banning anything. He was returning the rights to the state. So now he's in a predicament of, I'm not going to touch it. I gave it back to the states, and I'm not going to interfere with what the states do. Okay, well, that state is going for 24 weeks. Doesn't matter that he feels a certain way here. If you stated already you're going to let the states do whatever the hell they want, then your opinion on it at this point doesn't matter anymore. It's irrelevant. You've already said you're going to leave it up to the states. You may feel it should be a total ban, or you may feel it should be codified and every woman should have a right to choose. Doesn't matter anymore, though. You said you're giving it to the states and you're not going to interfere. So his opinion on it is meaningless. But for folks who are just tuning in, we are talking about
that you are a resident of. There's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
Well, I think the 6 week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I'm voting that I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand, everybody wanted Roe v. Wade terminated.
And I'll stop it right there. By the way, it doesn't matter what he's in favor of more than 6 weeks. That already is a huge change from where he used to be. I mean, he used to be a hell of a lot different. He used to be somewhere over here.
Been pro-life.
I know. What should the law? I know your principle. That's a good value, but what should be the law?
This presidential election is going to be very important because when you say what's the law, nobody knows what the law is going to be. It depends on who gets elected because somebody's going to appoint conservative judges and somebody's going to appoint liberal judges depending on who wins.
I've never understood the pro-life position.
Well,
I never understood it because I understand principle. It's human life as people see it. But what crime is it?
Well, it's human life.
No, should the woman be punished for having an abortion?
Look, I would say that it's a very serious problem, and it's a problem that we have to decide on. It's very.
But you're forbidding it.
Say, well, wait. Are you going to say put them in jail? Is that?
Well, no, but I'm asking you because you say you want to ban it. What's that mean?
I am pro-life. Yes.
What is ban? How do you ban abortion? How do you actually do it?
Well, you'll go back to a position like they had, where people will perhaps go to illegal places.
Yeah.
But you have to ban it.
Do you believe do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no? Is a principle.
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment
for the woman.
Yeah, it has to.
So now he's past 6 weeks, but there he is talking about you should be punished for doing it. North Carolina fireman. Good evening, welcome to the program. So that's a huge change. He's talking about banning it at 6 weeks is too soon. Here he's talking about punishing her for doing it all together. Fireman, good evening. Fireman, are you there? All right. Apparently our last guest is not there. We'll keep it moving with, I don't know what just happened there. Holiday. Shout out to Holiday. Kind of reminds me of I don't know what just happened there either. We're having some problems with the box here. Let's try it again. Amps 480. Good evening, Amps. Welcome to the program. Amps, are you there?
There?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You're kind of muffled.
I don't know why. I picked my phone up, so it's not sitting down anymore.
Yeah, it might be a little bit difficult to hear you, but okay. So at the end of the day, Trump is talking about 6 weeks or more. Do you believe he's had some kind of epiphany and just changed his mind? Why do you think he's making such a radical change from his earlier position?
Because in a lot of people's minds, there's some latitude left and right as far as how many weeks. If you're thinking it's okay for certain reasons, there's got to be some sort of stopping bounds. Is it 13 weeks? When it develops a heartbeat and a central nervous system or something like that. There's all kind of arguments about time.
Yeah, but we're talking about him though. Is he changing his stance to fit other people? Does he not have his own solid principles? You're saying that. Go ahead.
He's entitled to his vote, right? You're asking why is he going to vote like that? But why is he voting in Florida?
That's where he lives at. He gave the right to the states in the state of Florida, once he gave the states the right, the state of Florida imposed a 6-week ban, and the people in Florida, the actual citizens, fought to put that right on the ballot so they could actually vote on it. And it's on. So he's voting now against what he originally stated.
Well, I mean, everybody's flip-flopping, it sounds like. I think he's going a little left and Kamala's going a little right?
No, going from 0 to 6 weeks is a little left. Going from 0 to 24 is a lot left.
Why do you say it was 0? Why do you say that?
Because he just said a woman should be banned and you should damn near face some kind of punishment. That's 0.
He didn't say it should be banned.
He did. No, he said you didn't hear him say it should be banned?
I didn't hear the ban part, but I heard that a woman should be punished.
Okay, just for shits and giggles, let me go ahead and play that little part, and then you can continue on. Hang on a second, Mike. I don't turn my damn sound off.
Well, I have been pro-life.
I know. What should the law? I know your principle. That's a good value, but what should be the law?
This presidential election is going to be very important because when you say what's the law, nobody knows what the law is going to be. It depends on who gets elected because somebody's going to appoint conservative judges and somebody's going to appoint liberal judges depending on who wins.
I've never understood the pro-life position. Well, I never understood it because I understand principle. It's human life as people see it. But what crime is it?
Well, it's human life.
No, should the woman be punished for having an abortion?
Look, I would say that it's a very serious problem, and it's a problem that we have to decide on. It's very.
But you're forbidding it.
Well, wait. Are you going to say put them in jail? Is that?
Well, no, but I'm asking you because you say you want to ban it. What's that mean?
I am pro-life. Yes.
What is ban? How do you ban abortion? How do you actually do it?
Well, you'll go back to a position like they had, where people will.
Now you notice he's not saying he don't want to ban it. You hear that right? I mean, it's pretty clear he's in the conversation with banning it.
Well, just like I said before, he's somewhere where all of us are. I think
he's in the. So you don't think he's at banning it?
No, he's still holding his ground. He's saying that it should be left up to the states, and there's certain things that it should be allowed for. He never actually went out and said, incest, all that other stuff. But he's saying that, there should be some restrictions on it. Everybody that has common sense, except some of these way lefties, there should be some sort of stipulation saying, you just can't use it as the birth, after, you just can't go and do it on a whim. And there's some sensibility to it. I think some of the moderate Democrats and some of the moderate Republicans can both agree that there's got to be some sort of, acceptance of time and conditions.
Well, I'm going to tell you just from my own personal sake. I'm a guy. I don't think I should have a say-so in it at all. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't have to do the work. My life is not in jeopardy. If I don't have anything to do with burying it, why should I be involved at all?
Because it's your child as well, 50%, if not more. Just because you don't carry it, don't mean it's not your child, right?
Yeah, but if so in other words, let's say for instance it's your child and she doesn't want, you should be able to force her to go through all the physicalities for your sake.
Yep.
And if something happens to her, which does to a lot of moms in childbirth, are you responsible for that?
If something would happen early in the term, to where she would have a miscarriage or something like that, that happens. She can't be held liable for that. But if she's going to go out there and, do something to herself to harm that child, I think a lot of moderates, like I said, there's got to be some central ground. If she was to do something to cause her to lose the child purposely, I think, she would have to be held liable. That's basically what Trump's saying, say a mother wants to have an abortion at 30, 20 some weeks, 18 weeks, whatever. She's going to have to, number one, deal with it the rest of her life. That's what the Democrats are going to say. Shouldn't that be enough punishment? And I'm going to say, yes, I agree. Because I see both sides of the coin all the time. That's why I like watching your show. But anyhow,
Thank you.
She's going to be doing something to cause it. The husband is going to lose also. Or the boyfriend. Or I'm not talking about the other bad stuff. I'm talking about if a boyfriend or girlfriend happen to, produce a child and she wants to get rid of it, I think the male ought to have the input.
But what? Okay, so what about in cases where the guy is not voicing any opposition or any resistance? What about in those cases? Should she be free to do what she wants?
Up until a certain term.
So in other words, the man's opinion don't even matter. You're just basically going to impose laws on her no matter what.
Up to a certain point.
What point?
I believe personally, which I think some of these people that are around 6 to 13 weeks, I don't know if a lot of them understand, but when the heart starts beating, they call it the heartbeat bill. That's why that started. And then you have the central nervous system argument. I believe around that term, and I've heard 22, 24, but it's around 13 to 16. And that to me is enough. It's too late.
Wow. All right, fair enough. What if she just go ahead?
Can I bring up another subject we talked about? Well, actually, what you were talking about when I first came on here, you were talking about Arlington, right?
Yeah.
Hey, when are the liberals going to start wanting to shut down Arlington? When's the liberals going to start doing that? Because that Arlington Cemetery was once home to, right?
Confederates?
Robert E. Lee's house.
The answer is never. I don't see the liberals. Hold on.
Funny.
The liberals ain't. The liberals are never going to try to shut down Arlington.
You think he's going to have no power over that one, are they?
No.
What are they going to do? Storm the unknown soldier's grave? That was actually Robert E. Lee's wife's rose garden is where the unknown soldiers, how that started. But anyhow, you do know that, that was his house for 30 years. And then, the government took it away because they said that she didn't pay taxes. And then the grandson of Custis, Robert E. Lee's son, sued the federal government and actually won against the federal government and had to be returned to the Lee family.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that, but I'll just wrap it up by saying the liberals are not going to mess with Arlington Cemetery. I do believe that there is an argument to be made how somebody could fight to break the nation up, fight to secede from the Union, and then get honor on the soil of the victors. I've said before, in my opinion, the Confederate flag is essentially a participation trophy. Those statues are essentially a participation trophy. You lost. How do you get to start a war, lose, and then honor your people on the soil of the victor? Where do they do that at? I've never seen that done before.
That's the only federal grounds that's dedicated to a Confederate.
All over the damn country. You lost the war. How do you get to honor you lost.
But they actually won the first 6 fights of the war.
That ain't how a war works. You don't count a war by winning the first 6 fights. You lost the war. Period. You lost. Doesn't matter if you won the first 6 fights. I mean, Japan won the first 6 fights too. That don't mean you're going to put a statue of Hirohito up.
Yeah, but Arlington was actually dedicated for the remembrance of Lee, bringing the country back together. It has nothing to do with what Lee was.
Okay, all right. I got to move it on, Amps. Appreciate you coming in. Thank you. Anytime. Come on back to it anytime. Yeah, I don't understand that. How you could start a war, lose the war, and then honor your soldiers on the soil of the victors. Now, if it was strictly at Arlington, maybe. But there's Confederate memorials all over the damn country. I don't understand it. You lost. To me, those are like participation trophies. Even waving the flag around, it's pride and heritage. You lost. I mean, how many folks tell other groups, like African Americans, for instance, get over what happened in the past and in the evils of the past and get what's going on now? Well, why are they still waving the flag? You lost. It's over with. The South is not going to rise again. It's over with. So I don't understand that. But looking in the comments, What are you calling the Confederate flag is not a battle flag? I don't look. It's a flag of a losing party. How about that? It doesn't, wow. Thank you for that, JPT Farms. Appreciate the support there. Thank you. Doesn't matter what the stars and bars is referred to as. It is the flag of the losing entity being proudly waved around on the soil of the victors. I don't know. What do you want? A Hirohito statue? Maybe a statue of Eichmann? You lost. It's a participation trophy. Looking in the comments real quick. Thank you folks on YouTube for tapping the screen. Get the likes on up to about 125. It's history, says rolling at 52. Yeah, Hirohito was history too. So was Eichmann, Adolf Eichmann. If you want statues of history, all of that's history. No, it ain't history. You're trying to honor something that, by the way, because a lot of folks often bring up, well, if you take down statues or you're erasing history. That's flat out false. History is history. When we defeated Saddam Hussein, they took all his statues and things like that down in Iraq. That don't mean the history of Saddam Hussein disappears. The purpose of the statues is not history. It's to honor that individual. You can't get rid of history. And by the way, I'll tell you this. Every one of those statues has a plaque at the base of it telling you about the individual. You think the information on that plaque is 100% accurate? You think it tells you about any of the things, the evils that they were involved in? I mean, why not have a statue of Hitler and brag about how great the Volkswagen was that he invented? I mean, it's missing. It's not even accurate history. You say it's history. It's not even accurate. Looking in the comments, Ed G says Arabs lost to Israel. Arabs lost to Israel. Why is there still a Palestine? Because Israel controls it, and the only option would be to do what the Germans tried to do to the Jewish folks, is to simply annihilate them. They defeated the Palestinians, and they've marginalized them significantly. They have no power. They have no control of travel, commerce, utilities, anything. The only step remaining is to completely annihilate them from existence. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. Twain the Square says, we lost to Vietnam. Why don't they own Mississippi? Well, we lost to Vietnam, but not in a sense like the Japanese or the Germans lost to us. We lost to Vietnam from a stance of attrition. We just got tired of fighting them and left their country. Similar to Russia and Afghanistan, or even some might argue America in Afghanistan. We just got tired because the Ukrainians may win the Russian war in the same manner. The Russians may just get tired of fighting the Ukrainians and leave. That's different than dealing with Hirohito or Hitler of World War II. It's a little bit different there. Going back to the box, Big Trig, good evening, welcome to the program. I don't know if it brings Big Trig, good evening.
What's going on, my brother? How are you today?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on. I see somebody say, yeah, give Vietnam, Mississippi. give Mississippi to the Vietnamese, huh? So what do you think about Trump's big change here on a woman's right to choose?
Well, you know the routine, man. When you can't beat them, join them.
Really?
You know, hey, thing. To me, it's a desperate act.
Do you think it'll be effective?
Well, I think, you know what? I'm one of those guys that yeah, I think in some ways it will be. And that's crazy, but just the mindset of people. In some ways, it will be effective. There are people out there that's looking for excuses on why they can vote for him, right?
Well, but what does that say? If that is the case? Yeah, but if that's the case, what does that say about Kamala Harris? Does that mean she is that much of a lousy candidate that all he has to do is change her one position and folks will come back because Kamala Harris sucks that much?
Well, she does. doesn't suck that much, but in their mind, she may. That's just that's the makeup of people, and I mean, we got a lot of questions that we could ask ourselves. That why do people make decisions that they do, and do they see the same thing that we see? I mean, we all can look at a car accident, and people can say about 50 different ways on how it happened. Yeah. Right? It's just what they believe in and what they want, what they feel is important to them. And we've had this conversation before. People think that, hey, this is right for me, right? She's not right for me. This is right for me. But they, with all that is, you can't tell people stuff. They got to see it for themselves. Yeah. And
so how about?
That's what it comes down to. But
so what about the notion that Trump just had an epiphany? On YouTube, Michael Waddell says, I think Trump did ultimately concede on the issue of abortion. People tend not to like people who are hardline, pro-life, where there is no wiggle room or exceptions. Do you think that kind of describes it, that Trump went maybe too far to the right with this, all of these bans?
I think he did. I think a lot of times people, I hate to say it, but he gets influenced. So I think he got to looking at the things with his own eyes and said, hey, man, I'm not in a good situation here, right? So I got to do something to change the narrative. And I think that's how he did it. He decided that he was going to make some changes in the way he looked at abortion and the way he treated it. And hopefully he's hoping that that'll work out for him in the long run. I mean, I can't say that he is dumb for doing it. No, he's not dumb. I mean, because if it works out to his advantage, then great decision. If it doesn't, then guess what? I mean, it was a dumb decision. Yeah.
So
it is one that he's making that gamble on.
And you do believe that it will bring some women back to the MAGA side?
I think a very small number, but I think there are some that are looking for a reason. I mean, I hate to say it, that is just the makeup of the world that we live in. Some people are out there sitting in their living rooms right now saying, man, I really don't want to vote for her, right? But this guy is not giving me much to chew on, right? And
that's a good point. I can
get behind that.
That's a good point. Now, in regards to looking for a reason to vote for Trump, this is an interesting comment. Came from OG357 in the comments talking about the Democrats condone Venezuelans taking over of a Colorado apartment complex. Have you heard about that story where they're on video with long rifles?
No, and I have not. I mean, that is news to me that it happened within the last couple of hours, because I spent a little bit of time, doing some research on news events today, and I haven't seen that.
Well, the thing is, because the right believes that the border is open and the Democrats are letting in a bunch of rapists and unalivers, they're often desperate to present any bad story of an illegal immigrant acting wrong. Well, apparently there's this apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, where they have the people frightened. I think they're making them pay like a tax to live there, taking extra money from them. And they're on video, I think, entering an apartment building with guns and things. I mean, the right is plastering this, just like any crime that immigrants commit. The right to help make their point is going to and they're showing this one a lot.
Well, I will have to say I'm going to have to scream negligence on that, because I do not know, and I'm not going to speak on it because I don't have the knowledge about it.
Yeah.
But I will say there's something I did see today, though, Tim. In the middle of all this stuff, I just read that it just made news. Donald Trump says that he is ready to shut the government down due to voter fraud fears. So we have the government that's going to be coming into where they have to finance the government for the new fiscal year, 1 October of this year, right? Mm-hmm. And that just broke. That he wants to shut the government down because of because of that fear. And it's scary because it just kind of plays into what we use as a tool to get what we want, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that simply because I think we are aware that President Trump was not completely honest about what happened in 2020. So him talking about shutting down the government due to election fraud, I mean, even MAGA might believe the Democrats. Now MAGA believes the Democrats cheated. They believe there was election fraud. But even MAGA does not often believe Trump's statement that he won by a landslide. So at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of letting Trump control the mechanisms, suggesting that, he want to make the election safe. He wasn't completely honest about that either. I mean, the MAGA side of the aisle with Rudolph Giuliani being ordered to pay millions, Fox News nearly $1 billion. His side of the aisle told a lot of lies about the 2020 election. So you can point out fraud all you want, but it's not like the right is clean of that stuff.
Right, but Tim, here's the thing. Yes, everything you say is valid, but this is the same guy that shut down the border bill because it wouldn't be politically good for him. Yeah. So, I mean, and these people followed him to the finish line on that, right?
I wish I could push back. You're right.
It's scary. The people are anymore. The people that are there to do the people's work are not doing the people's work. They're doing the work of their own party, regardless. Yeah. And we don't care how it turns out. We want it our way or no way, and that's the scary part. And I can see it on both sides in some cases, but right now, I'm at a point where I have to go with my gut feeling, and my gut feeling leads me to vote for Kamala Harris because I think she has my values at heart.
Fair enough. All right, Big Trig, I do got to move it on. Your signal was breaking up a little toward the end, but appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah, we got some thunderstorms around here, so I apologize, my brother. And I hope to talk to you again later.
Absolute. My door's always open to you, man. Thank you. Moving the program on. Yellow Sunflower mentioned, thank you for the super chat. Yellow Sunflower says it happened at the Edge at Lowry in Aurora. Yeah, apparently it's a building out there that Venezuelan immigrants had taken over. Like somebody mentioned like the old 1991 movie New Jack City where they really took over the Carter to control the drug operation in the building. Now, I seen Fancy Press in the comments saying taking over apartment complexes, plural. That's what I'm talking about, where you're trying to blow up every event to make your point, to deliver your propaganda against immigrants. It's not apartment complexes. It happened in one location. It's not happening all over the country. Don't try to mutate it or duplicate it. It's not happening everywhere. But like I said, the right believes the border is being mishandled under the Biden administration. And I'm not going to pretend like they didn't make some mistakes here or there. I think Kamala Harris did a bad job at that. But what the right is trying to portray is an image that immigrants are coming here and just literally trying to wipe everybody off the face of the earth. I mean, portraying these folks as just being monsters. So what they have to do to make this image appear valid is to put everyone on they can find that is here as an immigrant committing crimes. So if someone is caught here committing a crime, you're going to see it being ran all over right-wing media. So that is the goal. Looking in the comments, like there's no police in Colorado. Well, there would be National Guard deployed. Use your brain. Yes, it's not happening to the level. I do agree that one immigrant coming in the country illegally and hurting somebody, one is too many. I'm fine with that. But Trump is claiming it's 18 million. That's not true. It's not remotely true that most of those folks are coming here to hurt people. It's not. I mean, there would be victims everywhere. Victims all over the damn place if it was that bad. I'll tell you one thing, with most of them coming in through the southern states, like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, if they were anywhere remotely near as what Trump is stating, the worst places to live in America, the most violent cities in this country would all be southern border towns. You're telling me that millions of folks that are committing acts of rape and unaliving is coming in. That's where all of the crime would be. Yet if you look at the top 20, top 25 most dangerous cities, none of them are down there. None of them are. So I think that's a prime example it's just not true. He's overstating it. Fancy President says, why are you minimizing the problem? Because you are maximizing it. Instead of just stating there is an issue of having folks come in this country that are not vetted, we don't know who they are, and I don't think that's safe, you're portraying them as coming to murder everybody. So I'm not minimizing, I'm correcting your maximization, your over maximization of a problem that's not real. Looking in the comments real quick, by the way, tap the screen. Get the likes on up to about 65K. I think we can do that. Appreciate you folks rolling with your boy on a Friday evening. I live in Texas. It's not like that. No, I know a little to the left trucker. Yeah, I used to be an over-the-road driver myself. Been down in Laredo, Farr, McAllen, El Paso, all of the border towns I've been there. It's not that violent. I would assume that it's probably more violent in Detroit, Philadelphia, or many other metropolitan areas that are Memphis, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Florida, that are nowhere near that. The border towns are probably some of the more safer areas compared to some places. It's not anywhere near as violent as former President Trump is stating. He's overdoing it. The most dangerous are the sanctuary cities. And gee, that's actually not true. That's right-wing propaganda. If you listen to the right, the most dangerous city in America is Chicago. Period. Chicago makes a good whipping boy because the state is liberal. The governor has always been liberal. It has strong ties to Obama. It had a history of tough gun laws. It has a history of liberal mayors. So it makes the perfect target because everything about it is liberal. But if you look up the top 25 most violent cities or with the highest murder rate per capita, you get towns like Memphis, Little Rock, Arkansas, St. Louis, and none of those towns have tough gun laws. So the right can't bring that up. But yeah, Chicago is certainly nowhere near as bad as the right makes it sound. There are other cities in this country that are worse than Chicago. There are, but it makes for a good whipping boy because of all the liberal connections to it. What is this? I go to Eagle Pass all the time. It's chill there. Yeah. If you go, most of the people that live in the border towns got jobs. You can go to a lot of towns and see homeless encampments and stuff. That ain't happening in most of the border towns. Them Hispanics in those towns got jobs. Twain the Square. What do you think of Texas rating Latina voting registration organization? I've heard about that. Many of you folks may have. Going and rating the home of 80-year-olds. We covered it on a previous broadcast, and I do appreciate you folks tapping the screen. I'm trying to get up to about 70,000 on the like, so certainly do that. This is uncensored programming. We are MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. You can be critical of anybody in the comment section up to and including the host without any concern of being blocked, banned, or censored. By the way, if you do enjoy that type of dialogue, follow the program on TikTok, a subscription on YouTube, if you will. Going in the home of voter registration individuals. Unfortunately, if you are someone that is registering a whole bunch of people to vote, you're going to draw negative attention from the opposition. The likes of Jesse Jackson used to do that. I think in modern times, Taylor Swift is responsible for that. And the other side doesn't like you very well. Now, because in this case, it was Hispanics that had very little power, little name recognition. You got corrupt government officials deciding to raid their homes in an attempt to intimidate them. Hopefully, the Biden administration uses the power of the federal government to stop that. But Texas is certainly going to let it continue going on. You're not going to get any assistance from Governor Greg Abbott down there in Texas. So hopefully they step in. But that is a story that's not being covered on the right hardly at all, Twain the Square. Thank you for the donation. Hannibal King, Trump 2024. We need our real president back. And he said Biden's a fake president. Are you like my other guests suggesting that Biden was executed? Trump is a real president. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Visa Hart says, so who are you voting for, my friend? I lean left socially. I don't think that Trump was a bad commander-in-chief. I certainly think on paper he should have been reelected. But I do bring up that he promised to give police immunity from prosecution. And until he explains what on earth he wants to do by giving police complete immunity from prosecution, that's a deal breaker with me. I mean, he's not only is he promising to get a police immunity from prosecution, he's also promising to bring back stop and frisk. And he's talking about doing it in liberal cities. So if you happen to live in rural Alabama or the panhandle of Florida somewhere, then you don't have to worry about the police having immunity. It's in liberal cities. And I say all the time that the overwhelming majority of individuals committing crimes in liberal cities are people that look like me, people of color, black folks. So he's going to give the police that deal with African Americans, black folks, people of color, those cops will have immunity. No chance anything could go wrong with that, huh? So I'm not a fan of that until he explains that. That would disqualify any candidate for me, because I believe in the Fourth Amendment right just as much as my MAGA side supports the Second Amendment. The Fourth Amendment granting you protection from unwarranted searches and seizures, which would make stop and frisk unconstitutional. Going back to the box, yeah, black smoke, there you, wait a minute, it says, yeah, black smoke, there you go, that's what he's gonna do for you. Well, Trump promised that he's done more for blacks than any other president since Abraham Lincoln. I don't know about granting the cops immunity. I don't know if you chalk that up as doing a lot for black folks. Let me go back to the box. Arsha Fine. Good evening. Welcome. Arsha, how's it going over there you're in Hawaii, right?
Yes, I'm in Hawaii. Come here, Berkeley. Sorry, talking to my dog. I'm in Hawaii, just got off work. I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, though.
Oh.
But lived in this amazing Aloha state since 2015. So,
I'm jealous. I wish I was there. So.
Well, I think I've told you before that my dad's side originates from the south side of Chicago. Grew up in, I guess, the projects, really.
Wow.
I've never been there, sadly. But I still have family there, so one of these days, if I ever get out there, I'll have to look you up and you can give me a tour.
Give you a tour of the projects. Most of the projects.
No, I wasn't saying a tour of the projects. It's a tour, like good eats, because I'm sure you guys got some good food over there.
Yeah,
so.
There's real good food. But most of the projects in Chicago have been torn down, but yeah, they do got plenty of good food. So what do you think about the actual topic we're discussing here, with Trump making such an about face, going from suggesting that women that exercise their right to choose or terminate the life of the unborn should face some kind of punishment, to now saying they should get more than 6 weeks to decide?
I think it's Donald Trump, as you can, we could say not 80 years ago, like in the 80s what he said, in the 90s what he said in 2018, what he's saying today. I honestly, in my opinion, I take him at his word. You say what I don't know if you grew up with Dr. Seuss, but I grew up with, Horton, here's a who.
Yeah.
You say what you mean, you mean what you say. And I think that he, at the time, he probably does mean what he says. And I think that it depends on, for him as a playbook and a strategy of how am I going to win. Actually, I don't even think it's how I'm going to win. I think it's how am I not going to lose. And so I think there's a difference because I think that when you're in the how am I not going to lose, you're more a desperation versus.
You see this as an act of desperation by Trump?
The reason why I'm saying this, particularly on this issue, yes, because he's seen and he's heard traveling the country, having interviews with people about how women are, not happy about this, right? And, as you know, like, even when I'm listening to you play different interviews of him. Yeah. He goes from, this is what I want to happen, a total ban. This is what I'm so proud of to happen. I helped appoint these justices to do an abortion ban, which I promised all of you guys, right, in 2016. To now, he's like, that wasn't me. Yeah. That was the Supreme Court. Yes. I'm just giving it back to the states. And then now, as I'm sure the team, Well, let me ask you, as a woman yourself, do you think his about face will work? Do you think women will now feel that maybe he's understanding things right and come on to his side? You think it'll increase his support from women? Well, no, because now he's going to alienate his base. I was just reading an article, like all these young women for, that pro-life, all these organizations and all of these groups that had previously supported him and, basically thought he was their ally. Now, with him even saying anything about, maybe they're kind of wavering and maybe they would slightly think, okay, I understand he might have an opinion on grape and family love. Mm-hmm. But they're, from what I'm reading, they're not okay with him wavering on the ban in general, especially if you're going to be going to a 24 for these people, for this particular, his right. Supporters prior. No, he's abandoning his base. Wow. Because if you think of, so I think one, if you're an educated, paying attention American citizen and voter, and you kind of see how over the last year, I think, and I also think this came about mostly because of Kamala being in the race. I think he would have stuck to his, put him in jail and, punish them if it was just he against Biden. See, let me show you something, because this was our original topic, but you talked about putting them in jail. Trump took to social media, because we mentioned this earlier in the show, and I haven't covered it as much. 2 different what they call it, Truth Social. It's not called tweets anymore, but reposts came from his account. Here's one. And I want to get your opinion on this. If you seen this one already? I know it's Kamala, and then who's the person next to her? Okay, this picture is Kamala and Hillary Clinton, and the caption reads, "Funny how blowjobs impacted both of their careers." Yeah. Yes. I heard about this today. It showed up on my, Trump alert. Why do you think he would send this out? Well, first off, what he's going to say if he gets pushback from this, he's going to say, I had no idea what it was my campaign, kind of like where he is now with the whole Arlington thing. It's like, it wasn't me, it was the families that posted it. Do people believe that there's somebody that controls his account that is sending out all this controversial stuff without his approval? Is there anybody that believes that? I can guarantee you maybe 30% of the population that are now MAGA and not Republican. Yeah, Tim, sadly, because listen, man, this guy, like we're talking about right now, this guy can say one thing in 1980. He can say another thing in 1990. He can say another thing in 2000. He can say another thing 3 weeks ago. Yeah. He can, and versus today, and it's like, oh well, he's changed. Yes, everybody changes. Why does he get credit for changing and nobody else on the planet gets credit for, or acknowledgement or accountability for changing, growing, being better.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with him changing his position, and I noticed in the comments on YouTube, several folks, I see FHL said it's true though, and the truth hurt, suggesting it what's being said here is actually true. So, telling them, well, I guess the first pushback I would say is there is no evidence that Kamala Harris ever engaged in oral sex. So what do you mean it's true? You got some evidence?
Right. Well, and I think it's just, Donald Trump sure does love women. Just kidding. I think, as a female, and, yes, I consider myself more of a, it doesn't even matter. I vote blue. Just because I feel like at this point the Republican Party is just so out of my zone of what matters. But I think he does that to belittle and undermine. And if any female, listen, we all know what happened to Hillary Clinton, okay? We all know about the Monica Lewinsky thing, right?
Yeah.
We know about the blue dress, if you've lived our life, because I was born in 74, so we know that. We know about the cigar. We know all the gory details that shouldn't have really ever been brought to fruition because that's personal stuff, but Newt Gingrich just had to stick up his ass.
But let me ask you: should sex acts be off limits? Should bringing up the sexual actions of your opponent, should that be off limits?
Okay, if it's going to be on limits, let's talk about Ivanka, who had written in a book that her husband at that time had raped her. So let's talk about the people. Let's put. You know what? If it's all on the table, let's put him out there because he's been. Oh, Tim, do you know that there's a movie coming out? Did you hear about this? It's going to come out October 11th. They were hoping that it would. It's the movie, The True Story of the Apprentice.
Oh my God, that doesn't even sound remotely interesting.
No, but
I never watched the show.
Well, you don't need to. But basically, what it is like an up and coming account of how he got there, right? Like an origin story, and it's not pretty. It is taken from account, but he's kind of, and his campaign and him are at this point, because it wasn't originally supposed to be released until post election cycle.
Yeah.
But nobody, so many, the guy who did, what is his name? Is his Dan Schneider? What is his name? Anyway, super billionaire. He did. He was in trouble for a minute.
Yeah, that just sounds like that just sounds like a Trump hit job. That's like 2,000 mules for the Democrats.
No. I think, so basically they kind of paint him as a normal, likable guy. He just does some things that aren't so likable, like we all do, right? But, anyway, they're kind of pushing back and saying it's illegal for them. But, it's art, whatever. So look at that. It's like the Trump story, like The Apprentice. It looked. I just saw the write up about it today. But
if some clips from it that are interesting come out, I'll take a look at it. But on its face, yeah. I never watched a single episode of The Apprentice. Didn't interest me. But if something interesting comes out, yeah, I'll peep it out. But
I like drama. Like I'll watch a movie like Nixon. I watch Nixon. We have who's coming out right now. He's going to be playing. Dennis Quaid's going to be playing Reagan in the Reagan movie.
I'll watch that.
Yeah, the biops of the origin stories I think are important. I would say that it's not any different with this one. It just might not be something he necessarily likes. But
you know what movie I want to watch, and that is the one in the future that hasn't been written yet, but one doesn't have power. I want to see the movies that come from Republicans admitting that they weren't forthcoming with the people in defense of their jobs and not wanting. Because I think Ted Cruz and some of them folks, Marco Rubio, just like with Kamala Harris not being totally honest about the condition of Biden, there's a lot of folks on the right that are telling you things about Trump simply because it keeps them in power. Once he's out of power, I want to read those books and see those movies when people are actually free to tell the truth and say whatever the hell they want. That's what I want to read.
But sometimes people have to die to have those movies. I mean, even you saw W, right?
Yeah, so be it. So be it.
Yeah. But apparently he's suing the, because you know how he likes to sue people. But yeah, it should be interesting. So no, yes, I think what he did with that Hillary, sorry, back on task, what he did with the Hillary and Kamala, God, he's got me saying her name wrong. He's so annoying.
You think it's over? You think it's over the top, across the line?
I think it's. Look, he is a father and he has daughters.
Yeah.
I am a father's daughter. I have a stepdaughter. I have, my boys are now hanging out with girls. We're in the teen phase. I would not want to see anything like that posted.
Yeah. I think most parents would agree with you. They wouldn't want somebody to deface their kids like that. I got to move it on to Arsha.
But just let me say, he is the father of a daughter.
Yeah. And
we know how much he loves Ivanka. He stated in all different kinds of inappropriate ways. She should not. I wouldn't even wish that on Ivanka. Like I don't have, or Chelsea Clinton, or don't do that. It's low, it's classless, which obviously, as we've known throughout the years, he doesn't really have a lot of class. But it is Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Donald Trump, and the fact that we're having a conversation about a former president that would post something like that about two smart, intelligent females is just, what the hell, Tim? Where are we? What is going on?
We're in 2024. This is our political atmosphere. Arsha, appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
All right.
Anytime.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Enjoy Hawaii. Can't have a bad weekend in Hawaii. Real quick, I wanted to respond to somebody had said something on YouTube. I'm assuming they don't move the damn comment on. But somebody pointed out that Kamala Harris, had slept with Willie Brown or whatever the case may be. Fine. I think there is plenty of evidence that is true, but that doesn't give you the right to suggest that her career was furthered by a blowjob. You can't prove. You can prove that she had an affair with him, but you can't prove what happened. Maybe they just had missionary or doggy style the whole time. In my humble opinion, Kamala Harris probably has a really good defamation or slander case against President Trump. There's no way in hell he could come up with evidence to back up his blowjob claim. Nothing. I mean, if she challenges him and states that he lied and told the public she was engaging in oral sex and she didn't, there's nothing he can do but write a settlement check. There's nothing, it can't prove that. I mean, it's just a statement to hit her below the belt. That's all it was. I mean, the fact that they slept together doesn't mean oral sex took place. He has no definitive proof that ever happened. So, yeah, in my opinion, she probably just, I'm like the Tom Cruise, the actor Tom Cruise of Top Gun fame. He used to sue the shit out of the likes of the Star magazine and the Inquirer. You don't see any stories about Tom Cruise in those magazines because he sues them. He don't let them just make a bunch of money off of lying about him. I think some of them politicians should do that. Now, you're going to take some flack as a politician. That's kind of par for the course. But there has to be a line. You can't just let a person say any damn thing they want, well, such and such is dying of cancer. And it ain't true. I mean, there should be a line. If you think my policies suck, you think Kamala Harris was terrible at the border or the economy and Bidenomics is a fuck up, I get that. Those are legitimate points can be made. That could be debated. But when you start saying she's sucking dick, I think she should be able to sue him. He can't prove that. And by the way, continuing on, it says she got Montel Williams show canceled. That still has nothing to do with suggesting that blowjobs has something to do with her career. You can bring up all of the things you want to bring up about Kamala Harris. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to prove a blowjob ever took place. You're just orbiting around it because at the end of the day, you got to admit, no, we don't have any evidence of this. So I really think that if, sue them and donate the money to some charity or something like that. I really think that you shouldn't just let people say any damn thing. He knows Tim because that's what Stormy, Melania, and all the teens he had at Epstein Island did. Damn, SGB. Damn. Tom Cruise can't be arrested. His hands are too small for cuffs. I did hear something like that. I want to bring up another, before I go back to the bots. Remember Trump stating vehemently when folks was talking about putting him in jail, his opponents was using the criminal justice system to weaponize the DOJ to go after him, saying that Biden did all of that. And then folks brought up, well, you were talking about locking up Hillary Clinton and all that before when you were president or running for president. Trump stated vehemently that I never talked about locking Hillary up, and it was just the crowd. And of course, there's plenty of video footage of Trump actually saying she should be put in jail. So when he said he never said it, it's flat out false. There's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of clips of Trump saying Hillary Clinton should be in jail, she should be locked up. But for the sake of protecting his own hide, once he thought the justice system was going against him, he went back and said, no, I never really said it. Well, I want to put on the screen another repost. I can't say retweet anymore because Twitter doesn't go. But Trump took to his social media account and reposted this yesterday. Now, for you may be able to see it, I'll break it apart. It's titled How to Actually Fix the System. And fix the system is in quotations. How to actually fix the system. Now, it features well-known individuals in prison garb with prison bars behind them. So it looks like they're in prison and they're taking a photo. The people you're looking at is Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and then below those three, Hillary Clinton, once again. He's back to the guy who said he never talked about locking up Hillary Clinton. And I see in the comments, Dim for us says he said she would be locked up. Not he was going to be locked up, but he wasn't going to do it. Well, within the last 48 hours, he's back at his old tricks. At the bottom here, the bottom four, one is Hillary Clinton, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, and Kamala Harris. Now, he just stated a few weeks ago that he never talked about locking Hillary Clinton up. He's already back on social media sending out pictures of Hillary Clinton in an orange jumpsuit. So, just basically erasing his own statement that he never talked. Why are you sending this out? If you never talked about locking her, why are you sending this out again? And by the way, I haven't heard anybody suggesting that Kamala Harris should go to jail. What did Kamala Harris do as vice president that she should be incarcerated for? This is the first time I've heard him state that Kamala Harris should be locked up. So when the argument is made that Biden is just trying to lock up his opponents, how can it not be aimed back at him as well? Like, why are you featuring everybody you hate in orange jumpsuit? You're not going to, Dr. Fauci, by the way, who MAGA overwhelmingly believes should be in jail, Dr. Fauci is an advisor. He doesn't pass laws. You don't have to take his advice. How can the advisor go to jail, but the guy that took the advice and actually implemented what he suggested face no accountability at all? I don't understand that. Dr. Fauci would be on television saying people need to social distance or people need to wear masks or whatever, standing right next to Trump. Trump would go to a rally later that night and his whole audience would be saying, you need to fire this dude. They'd be chanting out, fire Dr. Fauci. The next day, Trump is right back on television with Fauci standing next to him giving more instructions. And then later that week, Trump is right back at a rally again with his supporters saying, you need to fire this dude. At what point does Trump be held accountable for that. If all of your supporters can see this dude don't know what the hell he's talking about, assuming that, listen, I don't have the same opinion about Dr. Fauci as the right does, but assuming the right is correct, at what point does Trump not start to begin to face accountability? He could get rid of Dr. Fauci. You're keeping this dude out there when everybody around you is telling you you need to fire him. It almost makes Trump look incompetent on that. I do want to thank you for that that bear that came up. I didn't see who put that in there. Thank you for your support there. I do appreciate that. But at what point, if you don't get rid of the advisor, you keep taking his advice and his bad advice, then at some point you should be held accountable. And it's odd that MAGA doesn't hold Trump accountable at all for Dr. Fauci's instructions, even though accepting the instructions from Dr. Fauci by Trump was completely optional. Trump could have reallocated Dr. Fauci back to the HIV task force where Dr. Fauci gained all his notoriety. You don't know what the hell you're talking about with COVID. We're going to put you back over HIV and we'll give it to Ben Carson or the Surgeon General or somebody. At some point, why isn't he being held accountable for that? Tim, Trump is fake and has zero core values since Holiday. Damn Holiday. We know it's not odd. They will never blame him, says King Mo. Yeah, to me, if you're going to say that Dr. Fauci did every damn thing wrong and he's only an advisor, then you got to hold the guy who took the advice and made it into law accountable. I thought there might be help for wrong thinking, but you're gone. Get rid of the MAGA hats, not false advertising, not for free speech, damn it. That's the reason the hat's back there. The hat is not back there for support or hatred. The hat is back there to let you know you have a right to speak on this damn program. A lot of places MAGA goes, they don't let you speak. They want to blackband or censor you. We don't do that here. The purpose of the hat is to let you know everybody is welcome here. Somebody says get a blue hat too. All right. I don't think the Democrats worry as much about being censored as MAGA does. I will admit, MAGA in particular gets censored a lot. The statement, I'm trying to see how I can say this without getting my damn live censored. Because I did a video on it earlier today and I got censored. A very popular statement that you hear from MAGA, I can't even find a marker to write it down because I want to write it because I don't even want to say it because if it's said, the apps tend to ban it. I'll give you the phonetics. Whiskey, whiskey, golf. Whiskey, golf. The number 1, whiskey, golf, alpha. You should know what I'm talking about. Whiskey, golf, 1, whiskey, golf, alpha. When you say that, when you actually say it, I got banned. I got a video posted on here earlier today because once again, President Trump, in addition to this prison photo and the one featuring the claim that Kamala Harris was benefiting by giving blowjobs, he also sent out a post titled, "No one can stop what is coming." And below it, it had that whiskey, golf 1, whiskey, golf, alpha. He was busy on social media. He was really busy on social. Now, I will say this. What's coming that no one can stop? Obviously, if you have any concerns of President Trump getting reelected, you could vote for his opponent and prevent him from becoming president. But he's saying no one can stop what's coming. So that means even going to the ballot box can't stop whatever he's talking. What is he talking about? What is he talking about that's coming that no one can stop? That's also something. I mean, he really was busy on social media. Looking in the comments, Trump 2024, Kamala kill us. Jesus. Hannibal King says Kamala kill us. It's a complete joke. All right. You're not the only one. I know a lot. Somebody says Q stuff. Q stuff, should it be coming from the president, though? Travel, man. Good evening. Welcome to the program. travel, man. See if we can get up to 100,000. There's 80,000 likes. Tap the screen. Yeah. Tap the screen, folks. Get the likes up to 80. Travel. Appreciate you holding on.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. How you doing this?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Good to have you on again. So Trump has made an about face in regards to being pro-life. What say you?
Well, first of all, if he was sincere, then it would be a flip flop. Okay. Trump needs a large X-lax. That's what he needs. Okay.
What?
All he's trying to do is he's lying. Let's just be straight up with it. He's lying. If he becomes president and they get control of the House and Senate, there will be a national ban. Okay?
Yeah.
And irregardless of what he says, dude, you put 3 Supreme Court justices on the court to overturn Roe v. Wade. That BS about everybody wanted it, that's a lie.
Well, I think it's pretty, because he did say that everybody wanted it to go back to the states. I think it's pretty obvious that everybody didn't want that. That's why he suddenly is becoming pro-choice himself. It's obvious that ain't true.
He keeps saying it because Trump believes that if you keep repeating something over and over and over and over, then people will start believing it. The problem is the only people that start believing it is the doggone MAGA crowd.
Wow.
And they that shit crazy anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't think people are going to believe that one. I think, the idea that everybody wanted the ability to choose or not to go back to the states. Yeah, I think everybody know that's false.
And what about this? What was this other thing you were saying? Something about 24 weeks or something along those lines?
Yeah, in the state of Florida, they currently have a 6-week ban. And the citizens of that state fought to put it on the ballot, so they now can vote whether to keep it at a 6-week ban or to extend it up to 24 weeks. You get 6 or 24. There is no middle. It's going to be 6 or 24. And Trump is saying that 6 weeks is not enough.
Well, that just goes to show you how batshit crazy the people down in Florida are. Okay, 93% of all abortions are performed within the first 13 weeks.
You said what percentage?
93%.
Wow.
6% is performed between that and the 24. 1% of abortions are performed after 24 weeks. If an abortion is performed after 24 weeks, you have to have multiple doctors give approval for that. That means there's a severe medical condition, either with the mother or with the fetus, one or the other.
So
that's it.
So when Trump was talking about after birth type stuff, because he was originally saying that.
Come on. For one thing, that's murder. How can you abort something that's born already? So
Well,
like I told you before, Trump is the dumbest smart person I know. Okay? The whole Republican Party, they keep repeating this stuff, and the problem is that when they repeat this stuff on television, that the reporters or whatever, they don't push back. There's no such thing as abortion up to birth. That's insult to women, number one, and number two is murder.
There's a
in order for a baby to die after it's born, if it doesn't die naturally, it's murder.
There's a lot of folks on the right though, and like I said, including Trump, Ron DeSantis when he was running for president was saying the same thing. That believes that. I think Trump, I could probably find it on YouTube, but Trump actually stated that there are places where the mother would give birth, they put the baby to the side, is the term he used. She gives birth, they put the baby to the side, and the mom and the doctor make a decision whether or not to keep it. He said that.
Okay. You know why he said it? He said it because he's stuck on stupid. That's why he said it.
Yeah.
Every time they make that statement, and somebody say, "Where's the proof?"
Yeah. And that's what I was saying.
They've been saying this for how many years now? And not one time have anybody provided any proof Because like those ladies, those doctors and gynecologists, whatever, that appeared before the Senate committee, like they said, that never happens. If it does, somebody going to jail.
Well, I will say, and I see Fancy Prancy in the comments trying to say it does happen. I will say this, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it happened, but just like with some of the claims about, you know, a transgender man playing for a girls' team, if it does, it would have to be exceptionally rare. I don't believe it happens at all. But even if it did, it would have to be less than one child per state per year. I mean, it's exceptional. You talking about a live kid putting to the side?
Okay, so let me ask you this: isn't that going against the Hippocratic Oath?
To save a life, to do no harm? Yeah, it is.
That's going against the Hippocratic Oath. It just Governor Northam, basically what they were saying was that if a woman needs to have an abortion at 9 months, you know, then it should be available. And the only way that's going to happen is if there's something very severely wrong, either with the mother or the baby, one or the other.
Well, I think the proof is in the pudding, because normally if somebody is saying something, you generally find people to make your point. Like when the 13 folks lost their lives under the Biden administration in Afghanistan, they went and found the families. You know, if an immigrant comes in this country illegally and hurts somebody, they go and find the family. Even with abortion, they'll go and find a mom that terminated her kid and now she feels awful after doing it. They haven't presented anybody that terminated.
This is the thing too. A lot of guys don't have the slightest idea what a woman goes through physically and mentally during pregnancy. Okay, I had twin girls when I was 17 years old. So I'm very familiar with what a woman goes through because I've experienced it when I had 5 kids. My cousin died giving birth.
Wow.
Okay, and my wife and I, she went into early labor, and we had a daughter back in 1981. And at 20, she was at 6 months, 24 weeks, and she only lived for 6 hours. So I've been through this. And my daughter had an ectopic pregnancy. So I've been through this. And what they're saying is a bunch of BS. That's all it is. You know, women just don't, women do have abortions. Mm-hmm. But like they say, 93% of the abortions occur in the first trimester. Anything after that, you gotta have doctors' approval and a reason to have an abortion. Yeah. Once again, Trump is full of manure. That's what he's full of.
Well,
and you need a giant expert. And the people that go around repeating that crap, they're wrong.
Yeah.
They're wrong. It show proof.
That's my opinion too. If it's as bad as what he is suggesting, yeah, you should.
I just saw somebody say the terminator birth is stillborn. Stillborn means the baby died.
It's dead. Yeah,
it died inside the woman. The baby is dead before it's born. That's stillbirth. That's stillborn. Okay. I'm telling you, man.
You're not going to get any proof of that. In regards to the suggestion that people are getting rid of live kids, you're not going to get any proof of that, because, like I said, if they could, that would be you would get a lot of even a lot of liberals would sympathize with that story if they could find moms who terminated a child after it was born and really felt this, horrible about doing it and can remember seeing the kid and all. Yeah, the right would put that on television. Trump would have that woman at a rally. The fact that they don't have anybody telling those stories show you it's never happened. They can't find anybody to tell you that.
Okay, this is the problem that they have. All right, right now you have middle class and upper middle class white women that are suing all the states, that are going on TV telling their stories, that appeared at the DNC, they're out campaigning. Not women of color, not Asian women, not Hispanic women. These are middle class to upper middle class white women that were bleeding out in the parking lot, whose husband was finding them at home on the bathroom floor, whose fallopian tube was cut out and they can't have kids anymore. These are the women that's out here now. That's the face of the people that are being affected by the rollback of Roe v. Wade. And that's the problem. it's middle class and upper middle class white women that are the face of this right now. And that's the problem. And they have their husbands standing next to them, and they're pissed off. So now you got 51% of the population. So, okay, say women are 51% of the population. I got 51% of a lot of those women, so 49% pissed off. The other 2% are MAGA. You know? So, but the vast majority, they're pissed off because you took away their rights. The grandmother's pissed off, and the daughter's pissed off. Now you got 3 generations of women pissed off. And if you got a great-grandmother, you got 4 generations of pissed off women. The last thing you need is one pissed off woman.
So I would say, listening to you, it's safe to assume that women are not likely to vote for Trump if what you're saying is true.
A lot of women are not, because he took away something. They took that away. It was there for 50 years. Turning it back to the states, that's a bunch of states' rights. Slavery was a states' rights thing. That's why they went to Civil War. Okay?
That's a good point.
Anytime you send stuff back to the states, they jack people up. Anytime somebody say, oh, we're going to put this in a block grant and we're going to send it back to the states, you know what that means? That program is getting cut. Yeah. Because when the state needs some money, they're going to go and take the money from the people that need it the most. That's what they do.
I gotta agree with you in saying that anytime I've heard somebody saying giving the rights back to the states, it's usually a state wanting to take somebody's freedom away. Only when it comes to the Second Amendment. Only the Second Amendment have I seen citizens gain the freedom. Anything else, when the state is saying they want the right to do something, I don't want to bake a cake for gays, or I don't want a woman to have a right to choose, or I don't want interracial marriages. It's usually to take somebody's rights away.
Yeah. And then they like to use phrases like, well, you know, that's a slippery slope. You know how they always use that? Because they're the one already sliding down that slope. Yeah. Okay? Because they say, okay, we're going to send it back to the states. Well, we're done with that. So now they send it back to the state. What's the next thing going down that slope? Oh, a nationwide ban. What's the next thing going down that slope? Or we're going to go after in vitro. What's the next thing going down that slope? Or we're going to go after contraceptives. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you do tend to agree with me that if Trump gets reelected, that ban is likely to expand beyond just states' rights.
If they get control of the House and the Senate, if they don't get control of the House and the Senate, they're going to go the Comstock road. They're going to bring that Comstock law back on. They're going to try to go that way. They're not going to give up. Like I say, though, the problem is you got all these women that's pissed off, and they're not going for it. That's the problem.
Well,
you know, and you got the Mango Maniac. He running around here defacing the National Cemetery, telling all kind of lies about it. Well, I think for 6 weeks. Oh, yeah, that's not long enough. Oh, but you really said nothing about that in the last 3 years. You've been running around here bragging about, oh, yeah, nobody else can do it in 50 years. Everybody wanted it done. So I appointed the judges to the Supreme Court, you know, and because suburban white women turned on Hillary as well as me because they didn't believe I was going to do it. And then when I did it, they were like, oh, he really did it. You damn right he did. He told me he was going to do it.
Let me ask you this before I move in, because I see in the comments somebody pointed out something I wanted to ask you about. I can't pronounce the name, animal, human, or something. Said
interracial marriage, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you believe that something else could come up?
Well, first of all, the rationale that they used to overturn Roe v. Wade, okay, interracial marriage should have been up there with it, but you got Clarence Thomas on there. Because he's in an interracial marriage.
Well, you could grandfather the marriages that are already in existence.
They're not that smart.
So you really think MAGA might possibly consider banning interracial marriage?
Man, don't put nothing past those clowns.
Wow.
They would bite their nose off to spite their face. They would take their own leg off and kick themselves in the ass. You know, don't put nothing past these people, man. They are batshit crazy. They're trying to destroy the freaking country, is what they're trying to do. They're trying to turn it into a theocracy. We're not a freaking theocracy. That's what they're trying to do. And we have been so bombarded with lies. That lady that was on earlier, man, it's like, she must have got hold of some bad weed or some shit. I don't know what it was. That stuff that she was talking, man. That stuff, you ever listen to some of these people talk? That's crazy. crazy talk.
Well, listen, man, I will, in defense of the right, I will say when it comes to, lies, you're going to get that no matter you get a left wing or, because Kamala Harris is suddenly saying she was not for banning fracking and all of that, and she's on video.
Don't do the whataboutism.
No, I'm not doing whataboutism. I'm telling you.
Hey, let me ask you this. Are you seeing the kind of crazy shit that come out of the right mouth? Are you seeing the same kind of crazy shit coming out of the left mouth?
Can't identify what a woman is? You can't wait, hold on. Hold on. You got people, hold on. You got people on the left suggesting that a man can have a baby. Is that not crazy?
Okay. Now, has that ever happened? Just check this out, because what people fail to realize, right? People are born with muscular dystrophy. People born with autism. People are born minus limbs, right? Happens quite often, right?
You trying to make a case for a man having a baby?
Hold on a minute. So you're telling me that every person that is born, their sexual orientation or whatever is 100% correct on everybody that's ever been born?
No, I don't believe that.
Okay, so if you got a man who inside is a woman, why can't he get pregnant?
You sound about as wild as what you just said now.
No, I'm just saying. There's guys that's like that. You got people whose sex is mixed up. Nothing is perfect. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
If you have a guy who is outside, he looks like a guy, but inside he has the internals of a woman. Now tell me that hasn't happened. That's transgender, ain't it?
No, that sounds crazy.
That's not transgender.
Okay.
That's transgender.
I'm confused.
A girl who identifies, who feels that on the inside that she's a guy, because the chromosomes got mixed up.
You just figure. You started out by telling me the right says crazy shit and the left don't. I don't know.
No, I just said something to you that's medical.
All right. I gotta move it on, Travel Man, as always.
Somebody just put it right there. Hermaphrodite. They don't use that term anymore. They use transgender.
Yeah, I get your point. There are some wild exceptions, but I gotta move it on, man.
Exactly. So that's all I'm saying.
All right.
Okay. I know it's wild, but
yeah.
Hey, it ain't no space lasers coming down changing voting machines either.
You win that one. You win that one. Appreciate it. All right, appreciate it. A biological man can never have a child, you wacko, says Jenny. Well, he's talking about there are some, man, I'm trying to think of a term, but I'm making it sound so bad. Freaks of nature. There's a woman on YouTube, on TikTok, for instance. She does lives like we're doing now, and she talks about she has 2 vaginas. There are some, man, freaks of nature that sounds so cold and cruel, but nature is not perfect. Intersex, somebody talked about that. There are some, but generally, Gen X, I agree with you, a biological man cannot have a child, but there are some individuals that are in the middle, so to speak. That's not the transgender community, though. Transgender community are people who are born generally. Generally, the transgender community are people who are physically born perfectly within a gender. And they feel upstairs that they're in the wrong body or whatever. But they're born as a gender that's going to be fine. You know, if you're a transgender male, you were born as a dude. If you're a transgender woman, you were born as a male that would have been perfectly capable of having, impregnate a woman, everything. You had everything that would have worked fine. Just upstairs, you believe you should have been born a woman. So that's a little different. But here's the issue. I see Slim Jim said, I'm leaving the room. But here is the difference, though. I do believe that we have millions of examples to show humans are not born to specifications every time, meaning that you could be born with 4 fingers on one hand or not born with a hand altogether. You got people that are born with 2 heads, people that are born without arms, legs, without eyes, and all of that. I don't know why we would believe that a person can't be born gay. They're not born to specifications all the time. I mean, I'm not very religious, but whoever created us, they make mistakes. They don't make us perfect as you would think. People come out all sorts of ways. Somebody said I had 6 fingers on one hand, says T-Mac. That's what I'm saying. If you can be born outside the norm in all these other areas, why can't you be born gay? That doesn't make, I mean, you can be born with autism, you can be born with ADD or ADHD, all these other mental disorders. Why can't you be born transgender? I don't, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why? Somebody said, it's behind me. Somebody want to know where the MAGA hat is. It's right there. I don't donate so much money to the Trump campaign. Here's a Keep America Great from 2020. I used to have a Trump was right or Trump is right about everything hat. And when I would hear him say something that was correct, I'd give him his credit for it. But I don't know where my Trump is right hat from. I didn't find it. But anyway, I think that humans can be born imperfect. So the idea that you can't be born gay to me makes no sense. Fancy Prancy says post-birth terminations are illegal in the United States, but some Democrat leaders have advocated to change that. I'd like to know who. That, Fancy Prince, that would make a much better case. Instead of lying and saying that post-birth terminations are happening, you'd have a lot more currency by pointing out any Democratic leader that advocated for that. Find an audio clip of him saying it, find a bill proposal. That would be a lot more valuable because now you actually have something tangible than just throwing these wild statements out that are not true. If you could find Democratic politicians, I don't care if they're at the damn librarian level. If you can find a Democratic politician that's promoting the termination of a child once it's outside of the womb, present that. Present that. Don't make up shit. Go present that. That's what you should be presenting. Now you're stating, but some Democratic leaders have advocated to change and make it legal to have a post-birth term. Prove it. That's what you should be presenting. If you're stating that post-birth terminations are illegal, but some Democratic leaders are advocating to change it, prove what you're saying. I think that you would have a case to make. Prove that you can show where here's a case of Nancy Schumer or Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi trying to legalize post-birth terminations. Prove it. Should be easy to do. And then I think you'd have a better case. The fact that they're presenting no evidence to me makes it clear that most of it is false. There have been lawmakers to support post. Did they propose a bill that got shot down? Did they do a TV interview? Prove it. It's as simple as that. That would be a hell of a lot more valuable in causing harm to the Democratic Party and showing at least the stance of some than just making it up with no evidence at all. Prove it. If you're saying it happened, you should be able to show justification of who said it. You should be able to give names, and you should be able to show how you got it. That's pretty easy. And I would agree with Michi. Name them at least who supports that. I'd be curious to know. I don't think anybody supports, unless it's somebody way down on the scale, but still bring them up. I mean, just like there's probably people on the right, if you go and dig in the deepest, darkest hole, that would favor slavery again. I'm sure you could probably find one out there, but in terms of a congressman or a mayor or a governor, you're probably not going to find. I mean, but still, prove your case. It would be simple as that. Prove your case. Tim Walz signed a bill in Minnesota. Man, just look at. He didn't sign a bill for no post-birth terminations, or that you wouldn't have to look that up. If the guy running for vice president signed a bill and had his signature on a bill that was for a woman being able to terminate a child after it was born, you wouldn't have to look that up. They would be presenting that to you. Just like they presented him saying he carried a rifle in war and he didn't. Or that he was assistant coach and he wasn't a real coach, which is laughable. They would present that to you. If he does something that was that damning, they would come and show you that. You wouldn't have to go look it up and Google it and research it. Oh, they're out there, maybe even here right now. He signed for tampons to be in the men's restroom. Yeah, I don't, I don't get why that's that. The right is all over that. I don't. What do you expect to go into a men's restroom and get the shit beat up out of you by a box of tampons? Why is that such a big deal? Okay, he's pro transgender. We know that. So if a girl identifies as a boy and wants to use the boys' bathroom while she is menstruating, she needs tampons. Now, I understand the pushback is we don't like the transgender community and we don't want you making any provisions for them at all. Stay in your own damn bathroom. We don't want you doing anything special for the transgender community. That's the whole argument about it. But if I go in the men's bathroom, I mean, you've been in unisex bathrooms. You go use a gas station bathroom and it may have a machine where you can buy tampons. Some woman is in that same bathroom and they may have a machine where you can buy condoms. I mean, what does that got to do with me taking a shit? I don't, there's tampons in here. Who gives a damn? I don't know why the right is making such a big deal over that. Because they say it's not a lot of trans out there. It's not a problem. Then why do it? I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you one thing though. It just makes it look like you hate trans because you know what those tampons are there for. It just makes it look like you really hate transgender people by making such a big deal of it. It's the principle of the fact, not the literal aspect of the principle's funny. Like I said, to me, it just says, I hate transgender people. That's all I'm hearing when I hear it. It was a gender neutral. Oh, and I see SGB says it wasn't in the boys' bathroom. Says it was in gender neutral bathrooms. Now, I've been to Minnesota many times in my life. Mall of America, staying in hotels nearby, the Minnesota airport. I don't ever remember going in the boys' bathroom and men's bathroom in Minnesota and seeing that. Is it just a few select places? I don't ever remember. I mean, I was at the Mall of America a few months ago. I don't remember seeing nothing like that. I've been there since Tim Walz was the governor of Minnesota. I've been there since he's been the governor. I don't remember seeing that. C says, I don't hate trans, I hate liars. Well, first of all, nobody's going to come out and admit hate. You come up with other reasons to justify why you feel that way. But just like you look at American politics in this country. Obviously, there was a time when this country mistreated black folks. Go find a politician during that time that came out and said, I hate black people. None of them said. They don't admit it. They come up with other reasons to justify what they're doing. I don't hate you. I just think you should be with your people and I should be with mine. You should date your people and I should be with mine. You should swim in pools with your people. I don't hate you though. I should be able to ride in the front and you ride in the back of the bus. I don't hate you. It's never admitted. I mean, we know how the laws were in this country for at least a couple 100 years. That's going to be dozens, if not thousands of politicians. Go find quotes of politicians openly stating, I hate black people. You won't find any of them. They come up with other reasons. Even the Klan says, we're for the promotion of the white race. We don't hate black people. We're just for the promotion of our people. They don't tell you the truth. So when you're not going to hear people admitting they don't like trans, they're going to come up with other reasons. It's dangerous to kids. I think I think my child is in danger. I think you might mess up a kid in the head mentally. You come up with another reason for why. In reality, I don't like him. That's it. I don't want to see him in the park. I don't want to see him teaching kids at schools. I don't want him on a police force. I don't want them anywhere around me. I mean, that's hatred. You just label it as something else. Looking in the comments, if there's one porta potty, you got to do what you got to do. One cap, I like that. I give this spiel all the time. I don't understand why there is no history of these people going around hurting folks. Joe Biden said if you don't vote for him, you're not black. That is true. That is true. But you do realize Trump has said a lot of weird things like that too, right? I know a lot of folks point that out, but you do realize Trump said some pretty racially charged things as well. I mean, but I'm not discounting what Biden said. I'm just saying that Trump has said some things that also folks can say appear to be racially motivated or outright racist to some degree. Trump has said some really wild things, and because a lot of folks ask me all the time, well, what if Trump ever said this racist? I'm like, yeah, he said some shit. You know, said some stuff too. Looking in the comments real quick. Tap the screen. Appreciate it. We almost at 100,000, so appreciate that. Tap the screen. Trump has said way more, and Biden apologized. Yeah, Biden did apologize, but some folks didn't want to take Biden's apology. You know, they just, and there's some African Americans that did not want to accept Biden's apology. Biden was certainly losing his appeal with African Americans. I mean, they really needed Kamala Harris. I mean, Biden was losing his appeal with African Americans for sure. I want to see if I can play this because I saw somebody asked in the comments, what has Trump said? And I play this a lot. But some of you folks are newer to the program. You probably never saw this. But I always think it's worthy of hearing because so many folks don't know this ever happened. They know about the vote for me, you ain't black, but they've probably never heard of this. Kamala Harris called him Jim Crow Joe. Yes, she did. She did call him that. And now you see where she's at. But Kamala Harris did indicate she did suggest to some degree that Biden was a racist. She did do that. That is true. I want to, but you know, J.D. Vance, Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, and I think Marco Rubio all said the same about Trump. J.D. Vance referred to him as Hitler. Talking about Trump. J.D. Vance actually compared him to Hitler. So this guy's causing divide. Get on the side, man. You shouldn't have to. Cole, that says DiBiase? Remember the $1 million man? Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man? Yes, you guys ain't WWF fans. Anyway, you say I'm causing divide and I need to get a side. Think about what you're saying. You're causing divide. Pick a side. Picking a side is divisive. That's where if you're not in the damn middle and you pick a side, you have essentially divided the pack. You're promoting divisiveness in your damn statement. You're telling the dude that you think that might be in the middle, he needs to pick a side, and you're calling him divisive. Think about your statement. I don't think you know the definition of what it means to be divisive. Yeah, that's funny though. That is funny.
I read a case where some people are sent to Minnesota. It was 10 degrees Great. They probably want to be there.
I want you to hear this.
It's a much better idea, and certainly better for us.
Are you aware that the liberal media and the Democratic Party in general trying to paint you as a racist? Are you aware of that?
I think so, but I think people know better than that.
Right.
Probably the least racist person on earth.
Well, I've known you a long time, and I never saw any racism from you. However, when you tweet out a thing, and this bothered me, I got to tell you, you tweeted out that whites killed by blacks, and that's totally wrong. Whites killed by blacks is 15%, yet you tweeted it was 81%. Now,
Bill, I didn't tweet. I retweeted somebody that was supposedly an expert.
But you don't
and
want
was
to be,
also a radio
why do you want to be in that zone?
Hey, Bill, am I going to check every statistic?
I just want to explain this because because somebody in the comments asked, Obama, not Obama, but Biden, vote for me or you ain't black, and somebody responded by saying Trump ain't never said it or did anything racist. I want to break this down and see what because some folks ain't never seen this, but I do want you to see this. Because I think it's interesting. And it's only about another minute, maybe even less, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, you tweeted it was 81%. Now,
Bill, I didn't tweet. I retweeted somebody that was supposedly an expert.
But you don't
and
want
was
to be,
also a radio
why do you
show.
want to be in that zone?
Hey, Bill, Am I going to check every statistic? I get millions and millions of people.
You got it. You're a presidential contender.
I have millions of people. You know what? Fine. But this came out of radio shows and everything else.
Oh, come on.
All
Radio
it was
shows?
a retweet. I didn't say, excuse me. All it was is a retweet. It wasn't from me, and it came out of a radio show and other places because you see all the names.
Look, you know I'm looking out for you, right? You know that? You know I'm looking out for you. I look out for every honest politician. I don't care what party they're in. Don't do this. Don't put your name on stuff like this because it makes the other side, it gives them stuff to tell the ill-informed voter that you're a racist. I mean, you just hand it in the platter.
This was a retweet. I'm sure you're looking out for me. Everybody is, right?
Yeah.
This was a retweet. This was a retweet.
All right, whatever it is.
And it
I
came
told
from
you
sources that
tweet
are
ever.
very credible.
Okay, now I want to. That's all it is. I mean, now I know a lot of folks who support Trump. Well, it's a retweet. Well, as Bill O'Reilly stated, if you put your name on something, you're going to be held accountable for it. I mean, let's just be clear. If a politician is tweeting out pictures of him at Epstein's party or on Epstein's jet, well, it's a retweet. No, it's coming from your damn account. But I want you to look at what he actually sent out, because this is where now on my YouTube side, unfortunately, the camera is just horrible. I'm trying to see if I can angle it for you guys on the camera, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make it so you YouTubers can see it. The camera I have on YouTube is just a shitty camera. Yeah, I can't even make it so you can see it on YouTube. But on TikTok, I can absolutely make it so you can clearly see it. Now, what he tweeted out, first I'll describe what it says. There is U.S. crime statistics at the top. I don't know what I just did to my damn monitor. Fuck. Okay, it says U.S. crime statistics at the top.
Whites killed
of 2015. Now, this
by blacks is 50.
This information is flat out fabricated. The bottom of the screen, you can't see the little red line going through, but it says the source is the Crime Statistics Bureau in San Francisco. You heard Bill O'Reilly state that statistic, that source doesn't even exist. There is no Crime Statistics Bureau in San Francisco. But what's the problem with this tweet? He tweeted out that the percentage of black people that are killed by whites is 2%. The percentage of black people that are killed by police is only 1%. And then he tweeted out the percentage of whites killed by blacks is 81%. Indicating that if you're a white person and you're the victim of a homicide, it's almost an 81% chance that a black person did it. So he's basically leading folks to believe if you're white, blacks are murdering white people wholesale. 81%. Now, there's a hell of a lot of places in America where black people don't even live. 81%. 81% of white homicide victims are killed by black. Now, you heard Bill O'Reilly correct him and say the FBI, because when he tweeted this out, this happened when he was running for president the first time. When he tweeted this out, it caused such an uproar. The FBI immediately corrected it. I think it's 15% if Bill O'Reilly just stated. I think it was 15%. So fact is, people kill as a measure of opportunity. You kill who you're around. You're robbing your neighbor or somebody at the local, the local gas station or local bank. You usually kill people you're around. You don't go to, he makes it sound like most white victims of homicide are being murdered by black people. So I've stated this before, that if I believed what he's saying here, and I was white, and I didn't have any black friends or black associates, and I was a white person and I believe this, I'm walking down the street, I see a group of black folks coming towards me, I'm either crossing on the other side of the street or I'm putting my hand on my gun. Because he's made it clear that if you ever get murdered, there's an 81% chance that somebody black did it. Now also, in addition to being incredibly wrong in painting African Americans as wholesale murders of white people, look at the graphic on the picture. Look at the graphic on this. It features what is clearly somebody straight out of the hood. The guy's wearing a do-rag, saggy pants. He's holding a pistol out and it's turned to the side like they do in gangster movies. Why would a presidential contender tweet this out? In addition to asking why would he tweet it out, Where did he get it from? What site is Trump on that's posting stuff like this? So he'd have the ability to, because Trump didn't make this up. This ain't something Trump made up. He retweeted it. Where is feature stuff like this for him to retweet? So I just want to point that out. I mean, wherever he got this from is also anti-black. I mean, he's getting this from another source that whatever he's reading that gave him this, that site doesn't like black folks. It's pretty clear. I mean, they went to the point of putting a graphic, creating a fake source, and then added a bunch of fake percentages and numbers. They really don't like African Americans, wherever he got this from. So what is he doing on that site? None of that was answered, of course. He didn't apologize for any of this stuff. And I guess if you are black, you should just take it with a grain of salt and ignore it. But he did send this out. He did send this stuff out. And I understand the vote for me, you ain't black coming from Biden, but this came from Trump. Should we pay attention to the vote for me, you ain't black, and just ignore this? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you folks, but he did send this out. Now, to this day, I have no clue why, because he never explained it. He never apologized for it, never told us where he got it from. Also, never told us why he posted it to begin with. I mean, okay, let's say all of this stuff was true. Let's say everything on this graphic is 100% true. I still have to ask the question, why are you sending it out? Well, I mean, you just woke up and I want to let white people know that blacks are killing us. I mean, what would be the purpose of you sending it out? Even if it's true, what would be the purpose of sending it out? So, and like I said, no answers to any of that stuff. He has not provided any. So when folks say, well, he ain't never done anything to critic, this is one. Even Bill O'Reilly is saying he had a problem with this. And Bill O'Reilly has been a friend of Trump for 30 plus years. And he's rooting for him right now to win. So take it as you may. Trump has a guy that helps him tweet, says Karina S. Okay, well, that could be true. Now, I have an issue with it. I don't know if I totally believe it, but let's say it's true that Trump has other people tweeting from his account. Fine. You don't get to blame them, though. If you put your name on an internet page and you hire other people to manage that page, anything they put on that page, they're going to blame it on you. You don't get to blame a bunch of unknown phantom people for what if you hire bad people to work on your behalf, you're held accountable. Just like, let's say FedEx hires a guy to deliver packages, FedEx or UPS or some company to deliver packages, and the guy turns out to be a serial killer. Every house he goes to deliver a package, he murders the whole family. You gonna tell me FedEx is gonna say, well, that's just that dude. I ain't got nothing to do with him. He's driving around in a FedEx truck, your name is out. Yeah, you're gonna pay. If you're hiring people that are sending this stuff out, then you're responsible for that. Also, I also have to wonder, where did you find the dude you hired to send this out? Because he clearly doesn't like black people. That's what's funny about this, is that even if you defend Trump, but you just simply go down the ladder and trace where this came from, you somewhere, some way, somehow, you're going to bump into a racist. Okay, Trump don't mean any of this. He just tweeted it out. Okay, then the site he got it from is racist. I mean, but Trump didn't tweet it out, one accountable for why they tweeting this shit out. It's as simple as that. Okay, Trump can pass the buck on, but eventually somebody in his circle has to be held accountable for where are you getting this stuff from? What would lead you to believe this? And what's, like I said, what's the reason you sent it out to begin with? So we'll leave it at that. I see in the comments, one cap, two bears says the guy who shot him was white. That's actually funny. I don't want to, and what happened to Trump was awful. I don't want to laugh at what happened to Trump. But that is hilarious that you're tweeting out anybody that takes the life of if a white person has their life taken, there's an 81% chance it was a black person. And the dude that tried to take you out. So you're part of the 19%? Wow. All right. Anyhow, that's crazy. It is something they have to really sit and think about. What's next? Yeah. Your Messiah is going to, I'm going to leave that alone. You're not biased, says Cole Dibia. No, I'm holding Biden accountable for his comments as well. But this only came up because somebody asked me, what has Trump ever said to lead somebody to question? This is one of those things. This is. You on Trump constantly? No, I'm not. When you bring up points about Kamala, like her her mishandling the border. How many times have I said that? That mishandling the border. I believe she lied about Biden's condition, suggesting he was healthy. I think she knew. I think they knew. Democratic Party. No, the problem is I don't have enough MAGA to come on TikTok. So when I bring callers up, they're generally going to be left and they're going to hammer Trump, and that's what gets discussed. But if some of you folks would come to the right side of the aisle, that would happen. So nothing I can do about that. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 102,000 likes. Thank you. Same on YouTube. Thank you, folks, for smashing that screen. Nevertheless, I do gotta step away from my devices. I will be on tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to be on every day during this holiday weekend. I do not have to work. I'm going to assume Trump will be saying some more interesting things. Kamala Harris with the fracking issue. That, by the way, that's another thing I brought up too, that I think her about face on fracking is suspicious. I brought that up earlier as well, Cole DiBiase. I brought that up there. Her talking about she never meant to. She doesn't want to ban fracking when there's clear video footage of her said. I think here's the issue, where it seems like maybe I'm bashing Trump and giving Kamala Harris a pass. The things Trump say are really controversial. The things that Kamala Harris says, in my opinion, now this is where you may say I'm biased, and listen, if you think so, I can't disagree with you on this, but I am biased to the point where I don't think the things that Kamala Harris is saying are as controversial in nature as former President Trump. Like this video here. I don't have anything that Kamala Harris did that is as controversial as that video I just played you. Or him tweeting out, where's the video I played you earlier? I mean, the footage. Well, that's actually a picture of me right there with Kamala Harris. But I showed a video earlier of him suggesting that Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton careers were impacted by getting blowjobs. That's this clip here, where it states below, funny how blowjobs impacted both of their. I don't have anything from Kamala Harris that is this wild. So I hear your point, but the stuff coming from and also keep in mind, Kamala Harris she was a VP and senator. She hasn't been on the scene as much as Trump. That's not to say she may not act a fool in the future, but Trump has been around. And by the way, Trump likes the media. Trump likes the attention. So he deliberately does things like this in just one single day. He sent out this blowjob clip. He sent out this clip of Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, and Hillary Clinton all in prison garb. Kamala Harris don't do all of this stuff. She don't give me enough content to challenge her as much. Trump likes to do this kind of stuff. All this came from Trump in 24 hours. He tweeted a picture of all of them in jail clothing, tweeted out a picture of talking about Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton were sucking dicks. And then he also sent out a picture with the WW, you know what I'm saying, Whiskey Golf #1, Whiskey Golf Alpha, all of that in 24 hours. Kamala Harris, you got to go back to vote for me, you ain't black to compare to all that shit. Kamala Harris don't move that fast. So you're always going to hear more from Trump, more about Trump than you are Kamala Harris. And then, of course, within the last 24 hours, he also talked about a woman should get more than 6 weeks to choose. I mean, it's literally like putting, I don't know, this damn cup on one side of a seesaw representing Kamala Harris and putting an anvil on the other side representing Trump. He just released a lot more shit. So I don't want to come across as being so, but he released a lot more shit. So and nothing else I can do. Anyway, folks, it is your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Tomorrow I will see you folks again. And the AKA is too damn expensive and low quality and slow, says Andy Joe. You're talking about the Affordable Care Act. Tell somebody who has no health care insurance at all. He says the Affordable Care Act is too damn expensive and low quality and slow. Okay, so we get rid of the Affordable Care Act. What do you do about the people who have no insurance at all? It's just like, fuck them, huh? That's the problem. There's some people who have nothing. So think about them. I got to go. It's your boy Tim. Catch you tomorrow. Same thing on TikTok. Appreciate you folks.